go live on that, and then I can share that with the audience. Or on Discord.
There's a lot more to you than you. There's late for work, the keeping them safe.
Stop it. Okay. I got an ad on my own channel. How dare they advertise to me? Let me put this in this Discord. Oh yeah, let's move up to live streaming. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to. That's that way nobody comes in here and gets surprised. Like with Sean last time, with Gengle last time. Right here, everybody, I'm streaming, talking about the Crowder-Klein-Seder affair. And we're gonna get on that. See what everybody, see what people think about this. But I got that out. Let me post it in Sean's server since I'm back in there now. And Tonky. I invited him, but he didn't get back to me in DM, so I don't think he's probably not around today. He's probably busy.
Oh, that's okay.
We'll see. We'll see. You never know with him. He pops up sometimes out of nowhere. Be like, hey, you know, I'm like, there he is. Hello, White Devil TV is here. What's up, White Devil TV? White. Let me pronounce that correctly. It's White Devil TV. Oh, I gotta post it on Twitter too.
Well, yeah, I should do that too.
So, we're gonna talk about this, but first we're gonna talk about an internet troll, or whatever he is, that we were inviting on to argue with us because they thought they had the best of us and was calling us stupid and saying we were cowardly. Talking all types of crap, right? And then we invite him on, and I say, hey, why don't you come on? You know, you say you're brave and all this stuff, and you want to come on, and talk to us. I mean, if he just didn't want to, that would be fine, and I would be like, all right, then, you know, later. And I would have just blocked him or something, but he kept saying, yeah. He kept saying, yeah, I'll come on. Yeah, I'll come on. And then what happened? You nuked his account, right? His whole account's gone. His entire account is gone. He completely deleted his whole account. And this all started from the serfs. Let me put it up on the screen. It's not even really funny because Sean doesn't even really talk about 1350 like ever. So he's like trying to make Sean out to, you know, he always calls Sean a race realist and he tries to insult him with that. It just never really works. But the whole 1350 thing that the surf says against Sean started from their debate when it's funny because Sean specifically, because Surfs was bringing up, oh, why do you think they're committing crimes, or you think you think it's inherent or something? So Sean makes an argument that's specifically pointing to it not being inherent. And that's by comparing New York City crime stats to Chicago crime stats and saying, look, New York has like 5 times the amount of black people that Chicago has. Yet Chicago has this much more crime, that much more shootings, blah, 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 blah. It kind of shows it's not inherent. It's more of a regional, you know, behavioral thing depending on where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's different. If it was something that was inherent, you would expect to see similar numbers across the board everywhere people were, right? Like, but but that doesn't happen. And that was Sean's point. But Lance is so dumb and so uncharitable to Sean, really, that he didn't understand that Sean was making an argument against it being inherent. And he was like, oh my God, are you really like 1350ing right now? And then wouldn't drop it. He was like, oh my God, he's 1350ing. As if just saying that someone is 1350ing is a win or you know, like an argument. It's not an argument at all. You know what I'm saying? But then on top of that, it was opposite, where Sean was really saying the opposite. Sean was making an argument against it being inherent, and he wasn't even catching that, you know? So then I'm going to show it on the screen now. Oh, wait, I don't have, sorry, it's a black screen, guys. I don't have this channel connected to the screen. Okay. So there you go. Now you should see it. So, yeah, so he puts this up. Sean finally has endorsements. He hasn't wanted to have endorsements this whole time, but now he's at a point in his career where he's like, fuck it, I'm going to get endorsements, make some money. Why not? So the source makes this joke, use promo code 1350 to receive 20% off your first prepper bucket. As a joke saying that Sean, this all comes from him, Sean actually making an argument that it's not inherent. And that, Lance and these people say, they just say 1350 as a way of saying that you think black crime is inherent to black people, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? But Sean was literally making the argument that it wasn't, and actually had a really good argument that it wasn't. And Lance has no argument that it isn't. So, literally, he should be listening to Sean, you know what I'm saying? And be like, Sean, that's a good argument. You are correct. It's not inherent, because we don't see this across the same numbers across the board. And he should actually be in agreement with Sean. But he's such an idiot and so uncharitable to Sean that he doesn't realize that. And he thinks that Sean is making the opposite argument that he's making. So then so I make another joke on this. And I tweeted out and I'm saying, actually, it's more like 1256 or really 356, because now we can filter for not just race, but we can filter for age, and we can filter for gender as well, because really the vast majority of violent crimes are committed by men, not women, and young men, men under 30 years old. Men over 30 years old commit way less crimes than men under 30, right? So, when you do that, you can really break it down to 3% of the population is causing 50% of the crimes, And 1350, and my point was 1350 is outdated. That's years old, it's totally outdated. Now, if you really just still want to filter for race, it's really closer to 12 point something to 56%. And then he started arguing with me and telling me to prove that it was 56%. But at that point was when he started getting really belligerent and insulting. So I'm like, now I'm not going to meet any of your demands. I would have had this discussion with you, plainly if you wanted to, but now you're being insulting, and he was being insulting to you as well. And I said, no, you're going to insult my friends and insult me, and then think you can make demands and tell me, do this, prove your numbers now. And so I didn't do it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And, obviously, this is the internet game, so he took it as, you're chickening out, you can't prove it, blah, blah. But the funny thing is, right after he does that, somebody else jumps in, I guess that was watching the interaction, and puts the stats in for me, so I didn't even have to do the work. And I'm telling this guy, dude, the numbers are there. You go do the work, and you do the math. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you do the percentage of how many are men, how many are under 30, and you're going to see it's 3%, right? So this guy throws in the stat, and I look at it, and I retweet that, and I was like, this guy's such an idiot that if he did his own work and came back at me, he would have busted me in the way he wants, because it's this guy's saying I think it's more than 56%. The last numbers are 2019. It's really 55.6%. So I'm like, ooh, you could have busted me and say, you're wrong. It's not 56%. It's 55.6%, which is I'm 0.4% off. So it was funny, right? But then right after that, he completely ignores that the number was just proven to him, and he jumps to just insulting us, right, and telling us he's a pussy, and then he starts talking about you and your kid and stuff. So I'm like, bro, this is how you talk on the internet. Come meet me in person and say that to my face, and obviously he pretends he is, and he's like, yeah, and I tell him, look, I'm in Jersey, I'm right by the Lincoln Tunnel, we can meet anytime you want. I'll meet you in Jersey City, I'll meet you in Newark, I'll meet you in New York, wherever you want. And he starts telling me, I got boys in Perth and Boy, and I was like, that to us up here in the north we call those pineys, because that's Central Jersey, that's the Pine Barrens. So I was like, bring your piney friends, I'll knock you out in front of them. Bring them, I don't give a shit. I was like, tell them, they probably know where Journal Square is, tell them to meet me in Journal Square on Wednesday. And then he keeps asking for my number, right? He did that to you too, right? He was asking for
he did that to me as well.
Huh? So I was like,
not having a phone conversation.
I'm like, why do I need to give you your number? I'm like, dude, this is looking like you chickening out. I keep saying, let's meet at Journal Square on Wednesday. What time is good for you? And then you say, okay, I'll meet you there. Give me your number. And I keep saying, I don't want to give you my number. Why meet me there? I don't need to give you my number for you to meet me somewhere. And then he keeps saying he doesn't want to do anything criminal. And I'm like, all I'm saying is you say something to my face. You know what I'm saying? Come say something to my face. Why do you need my phone number for that? And why would it make it not criminal if I give you my phone number? Obviously, he's trying to pull some shit to like dox me or something, which I'm not scared of being doxed. I don't care. But I'm not going to just give you my number because you asked me to. You know what I'm saying? I was about to tell him, he ended up closing his account, but I was about to tell him, if you want my number, send me a picture of your driver's license with your address and your face, you know, and put it up to your face so I know it's you, you know, and write, this is for you, Alf, so I know it's you taking this picture right now, and send it to me, and then I'll give you my phone number, like, honestly.
Your bank account
because now I know who you are.
Bank account PIN number, your credit card.
But why would I give my phone number to some random person? Like, for what? You know. So I'm like, you know, so I just retweet that and go, yeah, you're just dodging. Like, this is you being a pussy and dodging. You would never say this to anyone's face. This is indicative of your behavior, that you could talk to somebody and talk about their children on the internet, but when it comes to being a real man and saying that shit to someone's face, you never would. There's no possible way.
Yeah.
And then even on top of that, I said, well, you're not going to meet me in person. So today I told him, hey, come on the stream and talk to me on the stream. And he kept saying he would. And he was like, all right. Then after that, he starts DMing me because the time starts coming up. Right? I told him I'm going to stream between 5 and 5:30, sometime around there. I'm going to start. So around like 4:45, 4:50, he starts DMing me and asking me things and telling me things. And, oh, you know, why do you hang out with AJW and AIU? They're bad people and this and that. And I was like, I know them personally. They're not bad people. They're good people. You're just an idiot. You know, and I'm like, eventually I tell him, why are you DMing me? Why not save this for the stream? You said you're coming on the stream, right? And he says, yeah. And I'm like, so why not just save this for the stream? We don't need to talk in private. I don't care about you enough to talk to you in private. Like, we could just have this public. You're confident that you could, you know, make me look stupid. So, you know, here's your opportunity. Come on my stream, make me look stupid. You know, maybe, who knows, AJW might pop up and you can make him look stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like, if you're confident, then it's on you, right? Like, you're the one who thinks you could do this. Come on, you know, what is incentive is there not to come? But it's the game. I don't even care if you don't want to come, but just say it. Just say you're a pussy, you know, be who you are. And just say, you know what, I'm a chicken shit. I'm not going to show up. Okay. You know?
And this whole like apology and then turn around and piss on you type of thing. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not accepting that apology and like, get out of here.
Yeah. So then he keeps saying He keeps saying Chris is not a real person. And that you're catfishing everyone. You're not a real woman. That you're a dude catfishing everyone. Stuff like that. So Kairu says, no, she's a real person. You can watch. She's been on camera. Like, me and you have both been on live streams on camera. People know what we look like. We don't do it often because we're not fucking, you know, narcissistic that we need to have our faces on screen all the time, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't like having my face on the screen all the time.
Yeah, no.
And I don't really take pictures that often for just no reason.
Yeah, I'm not a photo person too. There's not many pictures of me because I'm just not that kind of person. I just don't care. It's weird to me that that's like a sign that you're anonymous or you're scared.
Coward
it's
or
like,
something.
huh?
Like,
yeah, like, no, I just, you know, if you go back on my channel like a year or so, you'll see me on a couple of streams where my face is on there. You can see it.
That's something
I'm so not cowardly.
High school people saying more.
I'm so not cowardly or scared of what I look like that there's videos of me playing guitar and singing. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube. Like, you could straight up look me up and find pictures of me playing guitar and singing songs. Like, so it's like, you know, for people to say that I'm anonymous or, you know, or say that we're catfishing or whatever is ridiculous. You went on Talkie Time and did a Reaper challenge, and you were on video eating a super hot Carolina Reaper with 2 other people doing it as well. Like, so it's like, yeah, we all know. So it's weird for people to say it. So Kairu says that, and then I guess he looked it up and saw you, and then he first he said it wasn't you, right? He's like, that's not the same person.
Yeah.
But then he realized that, you know, he's probably wrong, and then it was like, oh, I'm sorry, and he apologized to you, but still said, you're an
call me a
idiot
dumbass.
for following me because I'm 1350ing and this and that. When the truth was, it was Lance that was 1350ing. That's how this all started. And that was the whole beef, was because Lance was 1350ing, saying Sean was when he wasn't. Yeah. And it's all a misunderstanding that's because of Surf's uncharitability. So it's ridiculous. Like it just makes no sense. But it's hilarious that this guy just completely bombed his entire Twitter over this. Like,
and making too many saying too many things to me. Like either I'm catfishing as somebody else, like pretending to be a girl, or I'm a bad mother. Like it can't be both. It can't be like all these type of things. It's just too much.
Somebody just left me a comment actually on a video. Let's see what it says. Asking me for the Discord. Henry W. Does AIU still have a Discord? The link on the website doesn't work for me. Not excluding my own user error. What does that mean? Not excluding my own user error.
Did you
maybe. I mean, maybe
thing?
He's saying.
Oh, maybe he clicked the thing and it wasn't a.
Maybe he's saying he's not excluding the fact that it might be his own error, that it's not coming up.
If you copy and paste.
I don't know if he's listening now. That was from the stream we were talking about the Crowder thing last time, which we are gonna talk about. Don't leave. We just wanted to get. Well, it also gives people some time to jump in, because I don't really have an intro thing, right? we just started, and then I'm sitting here going, let me spread the link around. Like every beginning of all my streams is me talking about, let me pass the link around. We go on Twitter, paste the link there. So funny. Oh, about this John McAfee thing, that's kind of funny too. People are all like already making conspiracies about it and being like, oh, look. I see they keep passing around this thing where he said that, if I commit suicide, it's not me. I like it here. But that was from 2 years ago. You don't think things change in 2 years? The thing I see is that it's basically Occam's razor, right? This dude is 75. He's in jail. He spent his life running from the U.S., right? Thinking that the U.S. was trying to kill him, whether they were or they weren't, it doesn't matter. It's just what he believes, right? And in the end, he just finds out that he's going to be extradited to the U.S. What do you think is going to happen? Like Occam's razor is kind of saying this dude probably killed himself. He found out he was going to be extradited to the U.S. He found out he's never getting out of prison again. That he's fucked. And he's like, you know what? I think it's time to go. He might have not done it himself. If he's saying like 2 years ago, if that's the same place he was, and he was saying he has friends there and, he feels comfortable there, could be a thing that he had good enough friends there to be like, listen, they're going to take me to the U.S. I don't want to go. Like, I'm done if I go back to the U.S. Like, can you, take me out?
Yeah.
Make it look like I did it to myself. Like, I mean, it is some jail in Spain. I don't know where he's being held. Probably some official place in Spain that, who knows what kind of people are in there with them. Like,
yeah, they do something too, maybe.
But I think it's kind of funny, and I think it's gonna. What I think is funny is this is totally the kind of thing he would want. Like he's totally the kind of guy who would love the idea of people passing around a conspiracy that he didn't kill himself when he did, or thinking that the government had him done behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those kind of guys. He's super conspiratorial. He always thought the CIA were after him. He was always paranoid about it, like living in these little islands in the middle of nowhere and shit with guns and shit, like waiting for the government to come. So what would a guy like that love more than a bunch of people on the internet spreading conspiracies about him that that he's still alive or that he didn't kill himself? Is fucking incredible. Oh shit, Sean's saying I'm saying Spaniards are bad. Uh-oh. Sean, if you want to come on, we're here. We're gonna talk about this Crowder thing. First, we were just talking about McAfee and this internet troll we were fighting with that completely nuked his Twitter. I thought Sean was retweeting some of the retweets I was doing, but to this guy. But he completely nuked his Twitter, so now nothing he said is up on Twitter anymore, which is weird, but which is funny. Oh yeah, it's not even showing up in my DMs anymore. Like, he completely deleted that account. Yeah. I tried to DM him, like, yeah, you running? It came back red, like, this account is no longer active. Like, oh. What happened? I think it's that kid from last time that me and Tonka had on stream, if you remember. Well, I don't remember what he said his
now I'm
name
wondering.
was, but I feel like it was that kid. What was his name? Was like progressive left or left progressive?
Left progressive. It was spelled one S.
I remember that kid had a YouTube channel I found. And it was totally him, remember? Right. Like, I was like, dude, this is you. And he kept trying to say it wasn't him. But it was his same exact voice. So we even went back to the stream I had with him and compared his voice there to the YouTube channel of the kid playing video games. And it was like a kid playing video games. And I was like, this is you, bro. And he was like, no, that's not me. That's not me. I'm like, that's totally you. I mean, that's your voice. I know it. And then, like, I forgot how I found it connected to him. He had commented or he had shared a video from that channel or something. And I ended up finding it and something like that. And I was like, this is you. He's like, no. And then he tried to play that it was his friend.
Name.
He was like, oh, it's my friend. No, that's my friend's channel. And I was like, that's weird that your friend sounds exactly like you. Same cadence, same voice. Like, that's really weird. It's like, does everybody in your town sound exactly the same or something? Yeah. Sam Cedar sucks. Yeah, he does. Ethan is lame. Look, the funny thing, and I'll start it with this. So we'll start this with the talk that how I feel about all these guys, right? I don't like Sam Cedar, goofball. Ethan, I'm actually a fan of Ethan Klein more than I am of any of these three guys. You know, I think Ethan is a funny dude, but when it comes to shit like this, he is a total turd. Like, he's very like he'll sink down to terrible levels to like get somebody. You know, like he's very spiteful, I guess is how you could put that. Steven Crowder, I just think is corny. I don't think he's funny. I just don't like his content. It's not for me, right? It's not entertaining to me. Most of the things that people think is funny that I see them retweet and say, oh, this is hilarious, and then I watch it, I think it's just corny, like amateurish humor, like maybe for teenagers or something. Like, it's not adult humor to me. But and his views, I mean, he leans more to the right than I do, right? Like, I'm like moderate left. He's not moderate right, or could you call him moderate right? I don't know. I don't know him that well, I have to say. I'm just not a fan. Same thing with Sam Cedar. I'm not a fan of his either, and I'm on the left. He's also on the left, but he's like way more farther left than I am, right? So I don't like him either. If anything, Ethan Klein's the only person I like out of these three, and that's just because he makes me laugh, and he has made me laugh for years. But like I said, even with the Keemstar stuff, like Keemstar's, everybody knows Keemstar's a douchebag. Everybody knows Keemstar's like a low blow kind of person. You know what I mean? Like, not a person of good moral character or anything. Like, he's very spiteful as well, does that kind of stuff. So when he beefs with Ethan, you'd think it'd be easy to take the high road, right? And if Ethan's got stuff on him and this and that, he could take the high road. But instead, he does the same thing back, and they both go back and forth and do shitty things to each other, right? It just keeps going back and forth. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what Sean's saying. He is a weasel. It's like his thing with Keemstar. Yeah, exactly. Ethan went into the mud. Exactly. He sinks as low as you do when really growing up. It's funny because growing up, I always thought, especially from television, all kinds of media, always taught you to be the better person, to never sink down to the other person's level. Like, that was even an ethic that got taught to you on like sitcoms. There was always like an episode of a sitcom where a bully's like bullying someone and they're like, oh, don't sink down to their level, you know, like beat them the high road, you know, with the high road or something. Yeah. And in this situation, I feel like there was, at least in the point of view of Ethan Klein and Sam Cedar, from their perspective, there was definitely, what's up, Kairu? There was definitely a opportunity to take the high road and look like the better people, right? And super easy for Ethan and Sam to figure that out. I mean, if Sam Cedar really thinks he's dodging them because of the thing, they could have caught him with that, or he could have been like, hey, you know, it was really coincidental that Sam Cedar, that you like disappeared last week and had an emergency when Sam Cedar was streaming, you know. That's kind of weird. Or just straight up ask him, like, are you dodging Sam Cedar? Like, why won't you debate him? And ask him straight up. He could have asked him live right there in front of everyone, have that recorded, and got a real answer. I know Ethan's not a debater, but if he had really taken this seriously and really wanted to debate him like he was pretending to, this is where I think part of this is his laziness. because if he really wanted to, he could have learned the issues and learned the arguments. Sam Seder could have coached them. If they were confident that Sam Seder had the arguments that would make Steven Crowder look stupid in a debate, they could have taught that to Ethan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Ethan may not be a debater, but I mean, it's not hard to be schooled or taught how to debate someone on specific issues if you know what your opponent's arguments are already. You know, it's not that hard. You know, and he could have had him as a backup, as coach, you know what I'm saying, and teach him. And that would have been a way bigger slam on Crowder. You know what I'm saying? Even if Ethan didn't win that, but still looked like he gave some sort of competition. There's like when we watch UFC, right? And we see a fighter who everybody's like, this guy's totally going to get wrecked. He's going to lose. This guy sucks, right? Against like somebody who's professional or they've been fighting for a while and is really good. And you're like, oh, this guy's going to get wrecked. 3 rounds later, it ends and he went the distance. He loses, but by split decision. Everybody's like, you know what? That guy's fucking tough. You know, like he did good. And he looked good against this dude. To me, that would have made Crowder look worse, that he went in and still had any kind of trouble debating Ethan, who doesn't debate, right? Instead, they go down to the mud, like Sean was saying, and pull what I don't even see it as that bad. Really, what I see it as, it's a prank. You played a prank on him.
Yeah.
Big deal. You know, big deal. You got your laughs, but then what? You know what I'm saying? And it's weird that I feel like these people are kind of playing it as a big win. Like, it's not that hard to prank somebody. It's not really a win. It's just a laugh. You know, like, aha, you know, we're laughing. We pranked them. Ha ha ha. Okay. That's it. But why would it, like, these people are literally trying to take this win as if they're like killing his career. Or, you know, they're making his fans come to the realization that, oh, this guy ain't shit. You know, why are we following this guy? This guy isn't shit. This guy's horrible. And it's like, no, everybody's just
think that themselves, not from this
action,
I don't think.
I think most people, anybody who is charitable to Crowder is going to look at this and be like, well, you guys just kind of pranked him. Like, you didn't really beat him in his ideas, which is, if people are following him, they're following him for his ideas. Like, and you know, so you didn't defeat any of that. You didn't get to have that debate. The point was to have the debate, right? And if he's dodging Sam Seder, why not coach Ethan to have the debate in place of Sam Seder, right? And that would have been good, you know? Or, I mean, just have a bunch of arguments from Sam Seder. I mean, he could have had notes in front of him if he wanted to, and papers like, sorry, Steven, I'm not a debater, so I have notes here I'm going to use. You know, I'm sure Steven Crowder would have totally agreed to that and been like, all right, yeah, no problem. And if you watch when you watch the beginning of that video, Steven Crowder already knows something's going to go on. He calls it before, when you watch his video, right? He calls it before that. He said, he doesn't exactly say Sam Seder's going to jump in. What he says is, I have a feeling, no, he says, watch, Ethan Klein's going to drop out of this debate. He's going to find a way to dodge this debate. And he's like, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts on that producer who's a fan of Sam Seder to debate me. So that's basically what, instead of saying it was Sam Seder, but he did know Sam Seder was connected, and he had the idea that Ethan was going to substitute someone else to debate him, you know? And, it just doesn't look good. I think for Sam Seder, it doesn't matter. Either way, that doesn't hurt him or save him. It doesn't make him look good or bad. He was just part of a prank. We get it. To the left, it looks great. They're all cheering it and thinking this is a big moral victory somehow. But really what this is just going down to the mud to get a prank on someone that doesn't really do anything. I've seen... for Ethan Klein, it looks bad because he sinks to the mud again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done this before. He's done it again. So he still just continues to look bad. Nothing looks good for Ethan at all in this, I think. And for Steven Crowder, I think it's kind of neutral too. I mean, the way you want to look at it, it could be a slight embarrassment because he got pranked, but it's not going to change much, you know? Like, I was looking at a video by... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and he also kind of called it. So it's not really a prank that he wasn't aware of.
Yeah, even as a prank. When I first saw this, I saw from the Ethan side, and I was saying, if anything, this is just a successful prank, right? Like, that's all they did. Hey, you guys succeeded in pranking someone. Woohoo. But, which isn't hard, by the way. But, in the end, it's not even that successful of a prank because Crowder saw it coming and he knew something fishy was going on. He didn't know the exact thing, but he was pretty close to getting it. Like, it wasn't that far. And actually, it probably would have been even better if, like you said, to get that producer who's a fan of Sam Cedar's going to debate him. Instead, it would have been Ethan, right? Like Ethan could have debated him with Sam Cedar's coaching or his producer's coaching. If producer could do it too, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But really, in the end, all you did was prank somebody. Like it's kind of stupid. It doesn't make sense. I was watching that Progressive Voice kid do a video on it, and he was talking about, this doesn't look good to the Crowder fans, and he's going through the comments, and it's funny how they nitpick this because he's completely avoiding the positive comments.
The ones pointing it out the opposite way.
He's also showing the like-dislike ratio, which the likes were still way above the dislikes, so that already shows something that he's, that's opposite of what he's thinking. But if you see a lot of comments against him, wouldn't you just automatically imagine that most of those are not his fans? Like, unless they're specifically saying, like, damn, I'm a big fan of Crowder and this disappointed me, but none of them were saying that. They were just random negative comments like, you got punked or blah, blah, you look like a bitch. And it's like, well...
It's just repetitive, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, most of these guys are probably lefties coming in here to laugh at him. They watch the H3 version and now they're coming for you. But yeah, we're going to react to this video. Let's see. I don't know if Sean wants to come and react with us. You can always cut it out and put it in your channel. But, let's, should we watch the Ethan one, the H3HC one, or the Crowder one? I mean, they're both practically the same, but I guess because I also, I guess we're going to have to do both. And maybe we'll skip to the later... We'll watch the Crowder one first, and then we'll skip through the Ethan one to get to what he talks about. Because I wanted to get to the part where they talk afterwards as well. Because Ethan and Sam Cedar talk afterwards too.
Sure.
Oh, this is long. It's like an hour or something. Where was that little clip we saw? It was on Crowder clips, right?
Oh yeah, wait, hang on a second.
That was like the one I looked at was like, oh my god, this is like an hour long. I don't think this. I like that he called it the greatest self-own. H3 Rex himself brags about it. That's really what happened though. That's why I say the person who came out looking the worst out of this was Ethan, 100%.
Yeah. Like
Crowder just comes out like a person who got pranked. Sam Cedar was just jumping in. I mean, he doesn't really look bad either. He just, he's just like, I'm here for the fun. I'm here for the prank, basically. I mean, him gloating about it like, oh, you're scared and blah, blah, is kind of silly.
You
could really just gloat and be like, haha, I got you, like funny.
Like grown men acting like teenagers.
But they are, yeah, it is very childish and it is very grown men acting like teenagers, yeah. It's like I was almost expecting Ashton Kutcher to pop up on the screen, like and be like, we got you, you got punked, haha. Steven Crowder, we punked you. Like, oh, I didn't realize that was on MTV. Okay.
Wait, did you get the one?
Yeah.
Twisted sent me the one.
I
sent it.
I'm about to set it up. Set it up.
Okay.
Yes, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this mic hasn't been adjusted, guys.
Alright, we get it. You gotta adjust the mic.
Human height. Since Dave was doing it. I can see some weird contact thing there.
Well, yeah, here's the clip show for the 20 minutes of just the clip of this part. 32,000 likes, 5.3 thousand dislikes. Where do you think these dislikes are coming from? You think that's his own fans doing that? Like,
yeah.
Come on now. I came prepared, walks upset. Let's someone else do the work. Yeah, see, look, already a reply anti. These are top too, right? Am I on top comments? Yeah. So remember that kid was reading this and going through it and he also switched it to all comments, not even newest first. I don't know how he did that. He had a thing that said all comments. He probably has a, what do you call those? Like, yeah, like a program for that does that with his browser. I love how when they realize it's not between Steven and Ethan, they just go ahead and bring in Dave. Then you can't hear anything. I'm not even sure if that's well. The part where they talk about their babies was wholesome as fuck. Yeah, they start off really friendly too. I guess Ethan survived long enough to become the YouTube drama. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. Ethan looks the worst. So most people are talking about Ethan's looking bad. We choose truth over facts, the big guy. You don't even have to think about it, dude. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I call shenanigans. Ethan's stunt double didn't even look like him. Yeah. Ethan is probably one of those guys that brings another man into his bedroom to help him satisfy his wife. See, yeah, everybody's gonna be making fun of Ethan on this. Ethan, I've prepared translation. I haven't done shit. Yes. This sounds like a modern warfare lobby. Never seen someone using a human shield on a debate. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. Do you really think this is an issue for Crowder? Like, I want to talk about this too. I don't feel like looking through Twitter for these because it's a pain in the ass. But the serfs, right? What did the serfs say? The serfs said
this is
his career was it was saying that this was career ending for Crowder. He was like, look at this man shiver in fear as his career crush, So for the serfs, he saw this, literally watched this whole thing happen and said, wow, Crowder's career is over. This is delusional. Yeah. Did any of you guys think that? Did any of you guys hear about this? Say, oh yeah, Crowder's career is over. It's done. Like I watched this and I was like, yeah, this isn't a career ending at all. It's barely going to shake up his audience. Well, who else was it? That guy from, damn. I know his real name now, and I don't remember his show's name. That Mike Figueredo guy, the guy that me and you go, Jacob Blake. The Humanist Report. The Humanist Report. Yo, he talks is funny. He was saying shit too. He was like, I don't see how they could twist this to look good for Crowder, and it's like, nobody needs to make this look good for Crowder. Like the twisting, they would have to twist it to make Ethan look good, really, because the only person, like I said, the only person looks bad here is Ethan. So.
All of their examples for how it could make Ethan look better or something like that and deflect away from their shadiness it's just silly, just stupid.
It's not taking the high road. And people were arguing with me like, oh, but Steven Crowder ambushes college students and it's not. And it's like, he doesn't.
Where?
It's not really the point of ambush either or catching someone off guard. It's the point of he doesn't invite these students somewhere and then trick him into it. Like they don't trick. He doesn't trick students into things. They all know they're going to argue with him about something and that it's going to be filmed and cut up and put on his channel. He's not saying, hey, come here, I've got cake. You want a free cake? And then trap you in an argument. You know what I'm saying? And record it and put it out without you knowing. Yeah, with a private camera and shit. Like everybody who talks to him knows what's going on. Then they show that prank he did on Cenk, right? Remember? And he comes out doing an impersonation of Cenk to Cenk at a debate. And it's like, that's not the same thing either. That's a prank. I mean, it is the same thing if you say it, but I don't think Crowder did that and then came back and took that as a moral victory. Like, I beat him in an argument and I'm, my issues are better. The whole point is for the debate, right? Like, he's not taking that as winning anything or saying that Cenk is scared to debate him. What he's doing is he pranked Cenk. That's all it is. And he knows it's a prank and probably played it as a prank, But these people aren't playing this as a prank. They're playing this as some sort of moral victory.
Like, they've called Crowder the bully and they're bullying the bully. And that's just so, just such a silly thing to do.
Yeah, like Roy said, Crowder doesn't edit his change my minds, I thought. I don't really see those. I've seen clips of them, and I've seen the clips I've seen are edited. But even if he did edit them, the people who are doing those know that it's a YouTube show. They know what's going on. It's not like he tricks them into it and then, even if it is edited, it's not like he tricks them and edits it into a way that they're saying things they're not saying. I'm sure there's points where people do maybe make good arguments to him and he doesn't just post those, he doesn't put those in the edit and it's like, let's not put this one, let's not put that one. I'm sure he picks and chooses which arguments he's going to put on the clips, but in the end he's not tricking anyone, and even if he was, the point is not to sink to their level. Like, two wrongs don't make a who cares, right? So you doing the same shitty, dirty tactics that he does that you just said are shitty, dirty tactics that you're complaining about, and then you do them, and that's okay? That's called being a hypocrite or being morally inconsistent.
Okay. Right. All right, let me check this.
But this is unedited.
Check 1, 2, 3. Somebody can't do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
When you want me to admit them into the room, I'll just do that.
Sure, well, I'll just say, you guys do the sound check. I don't want to sit there and talk with their producer, Dan, and stuff.
People were saying, I watched this, remember we watched this when Destiny was watching it, and we've watched it, other people react to it. A lot of people say he looks nervous or scared. I think he looks a little hyped up, but he doesn't look scared to me or nervous. I think he looks a little hyped.
You're
I don't think this guy
probably
wants to do this. I wouldn't be
like
surprised if you.
hyped up to see maybe if his
probably gonna bring
prediction
someone
is
else
right.
on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Excited about that.
That's exactly what he was saying right
He's
now.
probably gonna bring someone
Oh
else
wait,
on.
you can't watch with me. Hold on, let
This
me
is
see
pretty-
if I can get this. I might do this smaller so we can watch together. Hold on. Sorry, Chris.
Okay.
I
It's
totally
just
forgot.
talking when you're talking anyway, so it's okay.
Do this. And I'm playing the video and I'm like, wait, you can't even watch it. What am I doing? Okay, now you should be able to watch it. Might be a little glitchy on screen, guys, but don't mind that. Are you in?
I'm in.
I can't see them. I guess the noise isn't coming up when you do.
Hopefully he mans up. Okay, you can do your sound check.
Alrighty, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here while you guys.
All right.
I think it says it right up here.
Yeah, I bet this guy's gonna do anything he can to avoid actually doing
I
it.
bet. He called it.
I think he wants to do anything that he possibly can to avoid.
Yeah, let me know when you want
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Wait,
go,
when
like-
you want me to admit him into the room, I'll just do that.
Sure. Well, I'll just say you guys do the sound check. And I don't want to sit there and talk with their producer
called it.
and stuff. But
This
I don't
guy's
think
gonna do
guy wants
anything
this.
he
I wouldn't
wants
be
to do.
surprised if you. He's probably gonna bring someone else on.
He's probably gonna bring
As a
someone else.
producer, like a fan of that Cedar character.
See?
Yeah, that'd be my bet. But hey, hopefully he mans up.
A
Okay,
fan
you
of
can do your
that
sound
Cedar
check.
character.
Alrighty, here we go.
He called it before he went on.
All right.
It's a pretty close prediction.
Yeah,
saying-
it's pretty close.
Thinking it was
Good enough.
somebody else, and then it ends
So
up
that's what
being
I'm
the
saying.
actual
Even
guy. Like,
as a prank, it kind of doesn't succeed.
Hey guys, can you hear it?
like somebody saying, "Pull my finger," and you're like, "Oh, you're gonna fart, right?" And you're like, "No, pull my finger." And the guy
Hello.
farts like, "Oh my god,
Hey,
you fooled
how's it
me! You
going?
fooled me!"
You hear us well, or
Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine.
perfect?
You and you?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
here's
guys
when I
sound
start
good.
talking to Ethan.
Okay, great. Who am I speaking with?
This is producer Tim.
Tim?
Yes.
Hi, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Jesus, he fucking called. He did, right? He was very close. He didn't think it would
Are
be
you one of the
exactly
guys
Sam
that dresses
Cedar
up
himself,
in the Crowder, or are you not on
but he knew it had to be
Okay.
connected to Sam
screen.
Cedar. Damn, Ethan's loud as
I'm
hell
running
on
the
this
audio.
thing. Like
Okay,
Ethan's loud
great,
as fuck on
okay.
this.
So, you're not the Peter Pan guy or anything like that.
Peter Pan? No. No.
They don't even
Hold
know
on
he's
one
talking
second.
about.
We'll get Steven here momentarily. Give me
Okay,
one-
thank you.
I do agree with Ethan that the whole wearing the holster thing is weird in his studio.
Yeah,
Like, you know, most people have like a little coat hanger or a gun holder, holster hanger
Like they
thing.
take it
yeah,
off
yeah, they
when
hang.
they-
He could have even
Oh.
had it right behind him in the corner here that he
It's
takes
like
it
a
off and
crescent
hangs
moon
it
of
there.
filth.
Like you're in your studio, though.
Hi, Steven.
You're good.
Hey, Ethan, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I just want to say on a serious note that I'm glad your wife is okay. I heard you had a little bit of a
Yeah,
issue
thanks.
with your wife.
Well, she's pregnant with twins, so
Yeah.
it's like well, by the way, congratulations too. I know you guys are
Thank you.
in the same process. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
They switch
Can you
and they
turn
breach.
down a little bit?
Oh, sorry, am I too loud for you?
I just told Dan, our producer, to turn the volume down a little bit. You're
I'm
good.
gonna take out my gum.
Yeah.
Yeah, they switch and they breach, and so she
They're
actually
rolling
He picked
around.
his nose.
Yeah,
and was rolling
yeah.
up
I mean,
over.
at first they said C-section, and they said,
no.
"Oh, we might be able to do a natural
big
birth, but they
booger.
often do
see.
C-section." And then they said, "Oh, yeah." And then
So
it's, no,
this
wait.
is funny because they start off very nice, right? And they have like a mutual discussion. They're both having twins, right? They're both having. Well, I think Ethan's having triplets, but they're both having basically sets of children at the same time, right? So they're both having a nice discussion about it for some reason. That and then Ethan is like acting here, then, right? Because he knows he's gonna do something douchey to this dude, right? Like,
yeah.
and he knows he's tricking him, so he's acting right here, pretending to be nice to catch him later.
Now the other one's breached, and
Like a
the boy's
backhanded
just a
compliment
dick. He just
in a
will
way,
not
kind
stop
of is
kicking
what it
the
reminds
other
me
one.
of.
It's like I would say it's like a junior suite apartment. He keeps kicking the girl, and so then the girl wakes up. So
Oh.
yeah,
So how far in is she?
she's due late July, early August.
Oh, wow. That's coming right up.
Yeah, and I've got a big surgery July 1st, so I'm trying to get everything done in a hurry.
Is that your
Ethan
first?
just dresses horribly. Yeah,
It
that's,
is.
That's gross.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we talked about it on the show quite a
Terrible
bit.
show.
My wife had a basic operation for well, I won't talk about it. She probably won't. But basically, then she woke up with something called GBS. So we kind of it wasn't really fertility issues. It was a physical.
Chrissy asked the question, why did they hate Crowder so much? In the end, I don't think Ethan really does hate Crowder. I think that just all started because Crowder made a video about Ethan saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, and then they had this little back and forth battle on YouTube, right? Like on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that all started from that. And this is where Sean was saying earlier that it's about Ethan goes down to the mud, and that's what it is. I think he's just doesn't like this little internet war. He can't lose it, so he sinks low in order to do it. And I'm sure he said, Crowder mentioned something earlier about Ethan's producer being a fan of Sam Cedar's. So I'm sure this was brought up to him at some point from the producer to be like, oh, Sam Cedar, this guy's always dodging him. They don't like each other. So, and that's what goes on. But Sam Cedar doesn't like anybody on the right. He's going to hate everybody on the right.
Cool issue.
Act like
and
this.
GBS actually paralyzes.
This is why
you from
most people don't want to associate
down.
with him.
So
that's what she was experiencing.
Yeah, when she came out, just because they
Holy
put her under and so it's interesting. Like I'm like a pro-vaxxer, generally speaking, but she can't even get a flu shot. It's one of the few conditions because of the GBS. It's like a neurological condition where she has to be careful with any vaccine. So it's just been a weird navigation. But this is your second, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be our second. So we've been through it.
Yeah.
But and it's just one. It was supposed to be three, but the one child cannibalized everyone, and he has gained their
so not triplets.
Their energies to become the ultimate human being.
I feel like that's what happens with that's what happened with the Olsen twins. I'm convinced that one of them is evil, and
one of them ate the third one.
Yeah, something happened there. Well, it seems like whenever you see them in pictures, there's one who's more disturbing. But
maybe you're right.
No, and he made him laugh.
I appreciate you coming on and doing this, and doing this. A lot of people don't, so just talking, avoiding kind of the social media pissing contest drama.
But like I said, a lot of people reacting this are saying that Crowder looked nervous. I don't see that anymore, right? At the very beginning part, he seemed kind of hype, but by now he seems pretty chill,
excited.
And this whole conversation with Ethan right here seems pretty chill on both sides. They both seem pretty calm, pretty relaxed. Not upset or excited in any way.
Yeah, ready to go.
So I just want to make one clarification. So, in terms of, we're both going to record it, and then we can use it wherever we want, on your show, on my show, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea? Okay.
Yeah, and we can send you the file if we want, because we have the master file of everything. So.
I think we're good, right, Dan? We're recording it on our end.
Okay. Yeah, we've never used Zoom either. We did you ever get sold on that Skype TX box? Remember when that came out?
Oh no, I've always had such a pain with Skype that Zoom has always been really good. So.
Well, the Skype TX box is like from New Tech, I think, and they sold us on that. They said this is what Jimmy Kimmel uses and all these people. And
Skype.
Well,
really?
Skype TX. It's like a box. It's almost like, remember the Comrex boxes? No, it sucks. So what we've had to do is we
start
just
talking
have
about
Mac
this.
Minis set up.
Are just like, and then.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, well, I'll just.
okay, so we're gonna record it, and then the topics are just like, we said about authority with the vaccine.
I would say Ethan's kind of nervous because he's messing up what he's saying, but he does that all the time.
It's like I just thought, however you want to do it. I thought that since that was kind of the subject that got us into a tiff, that we could talk about sort of the CDC, sort of medical authorities, and you can tell me where you disagree with me, and then also kind of big tech, because that ties in, with the CDC and World Health.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This isn't even that difficult of a conversation. Like, Ethan couldn't do this. Ethan couldn't debate him on this.
Have data,
why not?
Stats, all this kind of nonsense.
Why not? It's not that difficult.
Sounded like a conversation.
It doesn't even seem like Crowder's talking about let's have this super deep debate where we're gonna go through stats and this and that. It seems more like Crowder's let's have a conversational argument about this, why you believe we should listen to this and why I believe we shouldn't, and and we'll find a middle point. It seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Crowder was looking to go for blood, but it doesn't seem like he is. He's taking this very chill and he's not trying to bust anything. It seems like he's ready just to have a discussion.
I'll introduce it to my. I have a little bit of a different audience to let them know kind of who you are, what's going on, and if you want to do the same, that's fine. But
yeah, of course, we'll let them know.
All right.
Okay.
I will go. And
all right,
I'll give you a countdown, and then I'll 3, 2. All right. Okay. I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from a Change My Mind, where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, "If you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him, some of you like him, some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
and I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that. Yeah,
I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
See,
what we
that-
were going to talk about is what we were going
hold on, right before this, because there's something else I noticed too. But right here, he already says he prepared. Why didn't you actually prepare and have a good debate? Like, Ethan is... Like, is he saying he's stupid? Like, he has learning disabilities? Because this isn't like a thing where you really have to be this like high level intellectual to have this debate. This is a regular conversational argument. It seems like it's not even that hardcore. Like, so
seems like he's proving himself in his tweet that he said. Like, I'm stupid, or whatever the comment was. Like, I'm stupid. I'd look to these guys because they know the things.
He's saying I'm a layup. That's true. So what better dunk can you have had than to actually prepare, like he said, and come hard and be like, all right, I prepared and know what you're talking about. That would have been the really good dunk, and they would have won that. I would have for sure been like, Ethan got him, totally got it. If Sam Seder pops up later on after the debate to say, yeah, I coached Ethan on this and Ethan did a good job, I would have been like, oh, well, they got him, like 100% they got Crowder. Like, that's good. Crowder came in thinking this was going to be a layup, and he made it difficult for him. Good job. You made him look bad. But this doesn't make him look bad. This just makes it look like you pranked him. And it makes it worse that, one, Crowder called it before starting the video, and two, Crowder's being super nice and respectful here, like to Ethan, and even saying like, hey man, thanks for coming on and doing this. I have total respect for people who would do this,
All right. So what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of...
you notice how he said, I think he's looking off there? That was him noticing something's going on. He spotted it already. Because you see, this is Ethan, that was him signaling his producer, like, oh, we're going to put him on, we're going to put him on.
What we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there.
Yeah, I think he's looking off there. He knows something's coming.
Was turned into,
now, at this point, Crowder's not seeing this. At this point, I think Crowder's just seeing his own screen. I don't think he's seeing what's going on in both.
A little bit of a meme.
I don't think for him they have it split. I think it's the thing where when somebody talks on this side, they see something, and when someone talks on this side, you know what I mean?
Which wasn't intentional.
I think that's how it works.
Was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC? And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing, in an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder! What a
he called
nightmare.
This, and now he's like, "Oh my god!" And he looks like he's he's overacting now. Like, "Oh my god, I'm surprised," like, because he knew this was gonna happen. He called it. Look at this.
It's going to happen. I thought
no idea
Ethan was a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I thought Ethan
was where we are.
I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. Now I want to say, somebody quoted that. Somebody posted this clip. I think it was Ethan himself posted the clip of when this whole part right here. And somebody replied and put in quotations, I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. And Ethan replied to that and said, I don't know what gave him that idea. And it's like, you're admitting you're a douchebag? Like, that you're not a stand-up guy? Like, when did that become cool to not be a stand-up guy? Like, huh? What do you mean? That's so weird.
Dave, remember
it's
I told you?
I told you.
I said, I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues. Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own fighting.
I got to say,
it's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
That
he's right, though. Everything he said there was
anything
right. Well, I don't know about the taking advantage of mentally ill women, but I wouldn't go that far with that, but everything he said about Ethan not being a stand-up guy, about doing anything he wanted to avoid, and that he won't even back up his own battles, that's all true.
To me, I think the point
Does that
is
include
They're
Joe
nitpicky
Rogan?
though, because they're being nitpicky to Crowder about his past whatever bullshit.
When I feel like I said, I feel like they had the easy win. All he had to do was instead maybe not have a debate and just say, well, we'll talk about it. And then when they come on, just start talking about how come you want to debate someone like me who doesn't debate, but you won't debate Sam Cedar? He already has the win on him. I don't get, this is the part that makes me not understand why they would go for such a low blow when there is an easy layup there to come out a winner on this without having to go for a low blow. It's almost like they wanted to do something dirty, like fuck him, we hate him, let's do something dirty to him, even if we can win cleanly, why are we gonna do that? It is just indicative of their character as men or as human beings, not even just human beings.
Ruben and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris, everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
I debated with Stephen, I mean, it's about issues.
It's about issues,
about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Some valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts eyes.
I wish every.
You take those off for the velveteen buttons?
They're just black eyes, aren't they?
Stephen, I don't know
no
why.
one's worried about
come on,
it.
Sam.
I didn't want to do it.
Well, let's
Sam, come on. I'll tell you what. I have a general rule.
This is a great
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get to a 30th of the audience share?
Coward.
Say, look. So it's funny. Ethan cuts him off, so you can't hear what he's saying too much, and Ethan starts calling him a coward. Well, first off, Ethan's the one being a coward here. I think everyone sees that. But you notice they're all talking, but Stephen just told Sam Cedar that he would debate him if he reaches a third of his view share. So he's like, get to a third of my views.
Yeah.
And I will debate you, is basically saying. He said, I'll tell you what. I'll go back a little bit because, you got to listen behind what everybody's saying.
Come on, Sam.
I didn't want to do it.
Well,
Sam, come on. I'll tell you what. I have a general rule.
This is a great
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get to a 30th of the audience share?
Coward. Stephen,
See, he just said, how about you get to a third of the audience share? And after he says that, Ethan says, Stephen, come on, don't be a coward. And it's like, but you just chickened out. Don't say don't be a coward when you're the one hiding behind someone else. Come on, dude. At least use something else to insult them.
30th of the audience.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
In something so strongly that you're not willing to debate.
Stop showing your little leprechaun.
Right. Hey, Ethan, come on, Ethan. Why do you have to bring on a guy who has a 30th of the viewership of yourself?
Saddest thing I've ever heard. So you have a guy with less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't? Why don't you get...
I mean, he has a point there. You had a guy come on to debate for you because you can't. And it's like, what? Why would you do that?
So lazy.
It's really lazy. It doesn't make any sense. He didn't need to do that because they already are under the assumption that he's dodging Sam Cedar, right? So why not just go with that? Why not just be like, why are you dodging Sam Cedar? Blah, blah, you're a coward. And that's it. They didn't need anything else. It's weird. Instead, now they look bad for no reason.
Well, look, you're the one who got personal.
You're the one that got angry about it.
Look, hold on a second. All right, hold on. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
But Ethan, look, I don't.
I was watching Hassan Piger react to this. And when he kept calling him Pigpen, he didn't know what he was talking about. Why does he keep calling him Pigpen? He doesn't know that that's a Peanuts character, I guess. I was like, God, Hassan doesn't know anything. He's like, why does he keep calling him that? And he keeps making comment, thinking it's some racist thing he's doing.
Ethan, this is because initially I came out here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Cedar is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't owe him anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just like you claiming my booker reached out to you, Ethan, when you know that's not true.
What's the lie?
There's no one ducking you, Sam.
Why are you so afraid?
Sam.
Listen,
I can call out Mike Tyson. It doesn't mean that I'm ducking him.
He said it backwards there. I could call out Mike Tyson, doesn't mean I'm ducking him. It's the other way around. He could call out Mike Tyson, and if Mike Tyson doesn't do it, that doesn't mean Mike Tyson is ducking him. You know what I'm saying? Because Mike Tyson wouldn't even look at this guy and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna box you. Who the hell are you? You know, like you're nobody to me."
Why do you feel that?
But it is true. It's a point that just because someone calls you out doesn't mean you have to do that. Especially if the person is doing it in a douchey way. Why am I gonna give in to your demand? And this is a thing we've been talking about for like a month now, right? It's always this is the internet way. It's always I insult you, I act like a total douchebag to you, talk shit about you anytime I want, and then I demand a challenge. You know, I demand to challenge you, and I demand that you come. And if you don't, then you're a coward. You know, and it's like, huh? So you insult me, and then now you demand that I come debate you, or I'm a coward? Like, huh? No. About I don't want to debate you because you're a douchebag and you've been talking shit about me for like a week. You know, and I don't want to hear it. And I don't want to deal with you and give you what you want. So, you know, like it's not how it works. Usually, if you want something, you should be nice about it, right? And be like, hey, man, you know, I really want to debate you. Can we set this up? You know, just be nice about it. But if you're gonna talk shit about me, why the hell am I gonna go out of my way to do something for you? Like, literally debating Sam Cedar has zero benefit for Crowder, so, and it has all the benefit for Cedar. So,
why do you feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why does he owe
for
you
10 times as
Me
long?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me.
Right.
I didn't ask him for it.
Right.
that's a
You've been
Weasley
begging
thing,
for it for
though.
a
But
long time.
that's a Weasley thing because the only reason you took it is because you want to debate him because you think he owes you a debate, or he's a chicken. That's what he's been saying. That's where he started the whole thing, hashtag cold feet Crowder, because he's saying Crowder had cold feet and didn't want to debate him at Politicon, you know.
Bigger than yourself.
Yeah, he found
He
a way
can't
in.
build an audience, and so what happens is he
Why are
uploads
you so
15 times
worried about-
more,
Do you
has
think
less
your
than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's why he wants to
Do you think
debate
that
you,
your
is so he can
audience-
build his audience.
Sam, come on.
You
We're,
think your audience
Yeah.
cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7
I
million
think.
subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your
I don't
question?
think
Can I
they
answer your
do.
question? Can I answer your question? Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave
notice he has
Rubin.
little hands.
Now they all know who you are.
Is that just me, or does he have little hands?
Yeah.
Grab my
His
strong
shoulders
hand.
make his
Yeah, I
hands
think
look
maybe it's
tiny.
because he's so thick on the top side that it makes his hands
Grab
look
my
tiny.
strong
But look how grab my strong hand.
To shoehorn yourself
He does have
into a
little
National
hands. Look how
Hour
little they
show.
look.
Do a
Tiny.
show.
Every day that you do
Why
that,
are we-
change
Hold on a
my
second. Hold
mind.
on a second.
They don't know who
This
those
is another
calls
lie.
feuds
This is
are.
another lie.
It
The
is.
cha- let me
What difference would it
clarify,
be?
Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. The change my mind. Everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How
professors
did
on
you
the.
know I
This is
ended
what's.
my
He's
show
not going to talk.
early last week?
Yeah, he's not going to let him
Stephen,
talk.
if-
Look, you know what's funny is Steven Crowder was actually going to explain something and talk, and then he talks over him. Like if he wanted to debate, he would have let him keep talking, right? So he can argue with
Yeah.
him. And even if maybe he's not agreeing to it, maybe it just ends up happening from them going back and forth. But instead, he talks over him.
You're an
Doesn't even know
idiot,
me.
and
How
half
did
of your
you know
staff
that?
doesn't like you.
watch my
Because I'm a
show?
diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's
watch
a
it all the
diehard
time.
fan.
Well,
There,
if
I had
you're a
heard of you,
diehard fan,
but I just met
why-
you.
why
Congratulations,
not have
Sam
me
Cedar's fan.
And
I'm just
Stephen
a
have a
huge fan.
conversation.
I like.
Well,
I
right
will
now,
talk
every time I
about
try and
the
talk,
issues
you're
that you
interrupting,
wanna talk
Sam.
about,
Yeah, and
Stephen.
Right
Yeah,
now,
how come I'm trying to
with
talk
you.
and you're
interrupting, Sam.
bombarded the show to
You
debate.
bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claim that everyone, just like you claim that I ducked a debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told
Oh,
me.
is that
I
what they
played
told you?
the audio
So you're just
of it.
lazy with your research?
And if big tech is,
You
What
continue with the
research do
lie.
I need?
You need to
They
research
said
and
you
say,
were
did
booked.
Stephen ever accept?
They said
Let me
you were
explain
booked.
to you. Let me explain to you.
They
Let me
said
explain to
you
you.
were
Hey,
booked,
whoa,
and then you
Sam.
dropped out and you
Sam,
literally
Sam, sweetheart.
feet.
Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let me finish.
I'm not a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything
No,
that
but
I've
he's a
seen
failed
is incredibly
actor.
unfunny.
He's a failed
and entertaining,
comedic
which may
actor.
explain
That's
the
why
audience.
it's-
Irony alert. Steven.
Comedian.
How much
Comedian.
Irony
you watch
alert.
my stuff,
Irony
Stephen?
alert.
Sam,
Good kind of
can I
guy.
answer your
It
question?
said that last
Sam,
night. I'm
Sam,
sure I
Sam,
saw that.
Sam, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comics. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? When have I as a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck.
This is the thing. We were listening to Destiny react to this, and he said, you know, he does these conference things all the time, and he says this is a thing that always happens. They don't really tell you. You know, if someone backs out, they just tell you they back out. They don't really know the reason. They don't really care. You know, like they just kind of tell you. And he's like, and it does happen that sometimes that they just might say, well, they're not contacting us anymore. I guess they got cold feet, you know, and it's just something they say. It's not really literally what happened, you know, like people just back out sometimes. He's like, people just see, sometimes people do this for money. Sometimes people do this for audience. If they see not enough people are going to go, they back out. If they see they're not getting paid enough, they back out, you know. If they look at it and they see it's not going to be beneficial to them, they back out. Like people don't do these things for fun. They do these things to get, you know, more eyes on them, make money, whatever it is, you know. Like why is Steven Crowder going on there for fun, you think? Okay. Oh, he even said he did CPAC for a while and he stopped because they paid like shit. And he didn't like anybody there.
And they're full of losers.
And full of losers.
You've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
Told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and gossip.
How can he say
I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants to keep debating?
I don't know. It's
talk about any of it.
All right. Okay.
Let's talk about the
issue. So, Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan?
About the vaccine? Because
Ethan, do you want to have a
See,
conversation?
he's even giving Ethan the chance to come back, take Sam Cedar off the show, and come back and debate. Right now would have been the perfect time for Ethan to be like, all right. But Ethan was lazy and didn't prepare, so he can't debate him at all or have a conversation with him at all. This is a prank, right? So easily Ethan could have been like, all right, we got you. It was a prank. Let's finish this conversation.
Gonna hide.
You felt so strongly about it. So why are you hiding behind Sam Cedar?
Oh, no.
Have a conversation
Sam are aligned. I'm not
him.
hiding.
Well, you're just a liar,
So you're a
Ethan.
liar.
Because remember we said, hold on a second.
Debate.
Yeah.
It sort of feels
It's
like you guys are the ones who are hiding.
Really?
What?
Hiding?
How is he
No,
hiding?
this is actually
Who snuck in on you?
Who's the guy who never appears on stage, never does a live show,
but is a comic.
never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program? It's just hiding. Right. Everything we do is out in the open. H3, you know,
Steven, you're wearing
that we
a holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a useless.
So,
even though I think it's funny he's wearing a
responsible
holster
gun ownership.
on
Is
his
that your
show, too. I
debate?
think
No
that's
wonder
weird,
you had
but-
to bring in a hack for you.
But in the end, it's not an
Crying out
argument.
loud.
Right?
That was his debate strategy.
Should we write it for you?
You have a holster, bro. You have a holster. As he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a show that just is dwindling. All right, okay. All right, Sam, you got it. You got it. I hope you have a wonderful highlight reel. Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on.
I want to have see. This is the thing. I ambushed you. Now I want to have this conversation with you. So it's like it's a demand. Like I did this. I caught you by surprise. Now I demand you do this for me. You know, and it's like, and then if he doesn't, they're all like, "Oh my God, he was so scared and ran off." It's like, no, you did this thing. Now he has zero. Now there should be zero expectation that he sticks around and does what you want him to do. Like that's not how you get people to do things for you. I think, you know.
Politicon, Ethan, we'll release the private messages.
You take it easy.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's adorable. Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses? One thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
We just want to see.
I just want to see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Or if there's a soul.
Just take off the glasses.
He does look like
Don't
a
hide behind the glasses, Sam.
Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost that opportunity.
Ethan's lost the debate. All right, this is sad. This is why we don't
Ethan, shut up.
People like the Surfs are saying
You
that
guys are
was
good.
like
Thank
an
you. Appreciate it.
anti-Semitic
Won't even
type
take
of
off-
comment. But the other guy off screen, the co-host on Crowder's side, was the person that said it. So like, I understand if people are offended by that, but that wasn't what people are trying to say. That's what Crowder was saying when he was just saying he looks like the Velveteen Rabbit.
Yeah.
So it's
oh yeah,
just
they were
silly
trying to
to,
say that that was like a
post
Jewish
things,
anti-Semitic thing, and it's like he looks like a rabbit. Look at him. He totally looks like a rabbit. So there's a cartoon character called the Velveteen Rabbit from an old storybook. Like that's what he looks like.
Crowder thinks he looks like him.
Yeah, he
That's as
does.
deep as
He
that
totally
goes.
does. There's like when Roseanne got in trouble for saying Planet of the Apes to that one like person that she had no idea was actually like black because she's actually light skinned. Like she's really light skinned. I think she's like 1/8 black. She had no idea. She was like, no, I wasn't talking about her race, but I mean, she still got in trouble for it, and nobody took it back that she was in trouble for that. But what I would have done in this instant is the second Sam Cedar came up, I don't know why Crowder did this. He didn't do this. This is what he should have done. Instead of continuing to argue with them, he should have gotten a quiet moment, say, Ethan, could I say something? Ethan. And then when they're listening, go, Ethan, I'm going to mute. When Sam Cedar leaves, let me know, signal me in some way. I'm going to continue my show. You know what I'm saying? With my producer, and I'm going to continue my show until you're ready to have this discussion. Let me know. And then just mute and continue your show until, you know, Ethan pops up on the screen and signals you in some way to continue the conversation. This way, Crowder's not leaving, but he's not playing into their game. And the thing that would have to happen is Ethan would either have to take Sam Cedar out so he can have the conversation with Crowder, or kick Crowder off the show. You know what I'm saying? And that's all he would, that's the only things he could do. And that way, Crowder wins in that case, because it's like, I'm not playing this game, but I'm not leaving. You know what I'm saying? You invited me on to debate you. I'm gonna wait until you're ready to debate. You know, like, and if you're not ready by the time I finish my show, then I'm just gonna end my show and go. But till then, you know, you got to do your show. So let me know, you know, when you're ready. Mm-hmm. But you know, that's what I think Crowder would have ended up best if he did that. But I don't know. He still didn't end up looking bad, like from what I see here.
Off the glasses.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you can give it the X. This is just. I knew it. The guy just thought.
I knew it.
Is that all right?
The guy thought that, no, we're still going. The guy thought that we had no. I mean, we have the master. Quarterback, can you put on your microphone?
Yeah. Is he still on?
We have the No, I cut him off. We have the master file. We knew.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what happens. Like someone like a Sam Cedar who just
he didn't even wait.
He never let
He
you
didn't even
speak.
wait.
I
Yeah,
like how he
funny
goes,
too.
your little leprechaun co-host, because he's still mad that I said he looked like a transgender Wayne and Garth. You know, that's just been eating at him for the last month.
Well, you know, and this is the thing too, is we don't do debates based on a lie. Like, I can call out Mike Tyson, I can call out Evander. It doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
And so when someone says, "Hey, you said you would do this," and you just admitted that, of course, there's no proof of that. Well, I heard this from so and so. Yeah, but there's no evidence. We'll bring up. We can bring up here the direct messages with. I hate to do this, but with Ethan, it was, "Hey, we'll talk, you and I, man to man. No one else will come in." Matter of fact, I was going to say, if I have my phone, I can take a picture right here. There's no prompter. It's just him on a call,
to run it on
and he's
editing,
terrified. I don't know how someone like that can live their life as a man.
Well, he just also talked very cordially to you about family.
Oh, yeah.
But what I really hate about that is then he immediately pulled it, which shows no character, no class, a complete manipulation.
Well, look,
But here's the
he has a show that's dwindling. No one cares about it.
But
And so then he wants the drama, and I actually want to have a conversation. But I'm not going to have a conversation. Here's my cutoff. A general, serious rule.
Yeah.
1/20th of the audience. Otherwise, I have no time in the day, and I'm debating every Twitter egg.
Well, right. But here's my point of how you win
that is a
something
point,
very,
too.
very easily. Your
You
whole
can't debate
point is you're
everybody.
talking about a that you have questions about.
Right.
He claims that something you don't even have to think about. That's a bold statement to make. So when you go to challenge him on that, his side has to explain why he feels that way. So he sneaks in another guy because he doesn't feel
You have
that
a holster, bro.
He's bought and paid for a
You have a holster,
bro.
That was his argument.
Let me show you how to use it.
You don't have to think about it, dude.
And this
what
is
an
the, here's the thing. I was really curious too, and then we'll go back to the show, I guess. I was really curious from someone like H3H3, who, well, you know, Quarter Black, you used to watch him. Made his bones. I mean, he has $15 million worth of real estate in Los Angeles. He made it all with antisocial. I remember I supported him where he said, "Hey, YouTube should actually find a way to monetize my." In fighting the corporate censorship than me, people should be deplatformed. I don't understand. People change their mind. I'm really curious,
talking about
though, when you
Sam
see
Cedar
someone who
wants
makes
people
their
to be
entire living,
deplatformed.
who builds up their brand and their empire on anti-wokeness, on because, you know,
Calls and said Norm Macdonald wasn't fine.
Let's see. And then we can watch the end of the Ethan one and see how they take that, you know, how they play to that. Give me a sec. Set this up. They also put up, so you know, that they put up the new host of Frenemies is, and then he did a stream with his mom.
Oh no.
I was like, is his mom the new Frenemies? Like, is this it? How long is this? 40 something
When you
minutes?
think of DraftKings, you might think
sport.
sport.
Oh my god.
But there's
We'll skip to a good part. Am I still okay?
Today's my first ever debate.
Okay, yeah. It's funny how he plays this on his end, and we'll skip ahead. But he's already playing it as today's my first ever debate. Like, why would he even do that on his side of the show, right? How does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's making these things to make fun of
a
him. The whole
very
thing.
special episode of the H3 podcast.
That looks like a
Today's
brawl.
My
Like,
first
what do you do?
ever debate
Yeah.
against the one and only
pretending
Steven
that's his
Crowder.
holster.
Who, thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Please stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand up.
Ethan. Oh man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great?
Well, weird,
glorious
right? That he's
leader?
playing it as if it's like something
Crowder
good. Like he's doing
challenged
kind
me
of
to a
good thing.
debate. He called me a layup.
So say no.
He said
See,
I
he got
was
upset.
stupid.
He got upset.
Well, Steven.
This upset him, and what he did show him is that he is stupid. Like, how is this a dunk on Steven Crowder? You basically proved to Crowder that you are stupid, and Crowder even saw it coming.
I think
Which makes it even funnier, which really shows how stupid you are, because Crowder even wasn't even surprised by it. Like,
the
he really
debate
saw it coming.
speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic. I mean, pretty much hits every box.
I don't think so.
He made this big, beautiful
tries to be a
compilation of
comedian
some
that's
of his
just not
greatest
that funny.
hits, but it's actually so heinous and offensive that YouTube age restricted the first upload of our video. So that all is available for our members, with the whole compilation and everything, which is, adds a lot of atmosphere. But for the sake of this version, we had to cut all of that out. But he is, let's just take my word for it in that case, a giant douche. Well, my
But
tiff
you're just showing
with
you're
Steven
just as
came when
much
he
as a
said that our
douche as
clip
you
about
say he is.
COVID,
Like,
when we were saying it's okay to listen to scientists, said it was his favorite clip of all time. We went back and forth for people who have been following, and Steven boldly challenged me to a debate and a video titled "Your Movie."
See, this isn't even like the viewpoint he has isn't even that hard. Like, yet we should listen to science isn't that hard to argue. Like, he probably could have had a decent argument against Crowder on that, at least to get to a standstill, So it's really weird to me that he would do this and not just have the discussion. It's not even that crazy of a take to say, let's listen to science, It's a pretty generic take. That's not hard to argue.
Ethan.
I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show.
Darren's his dad, by the way, right? Just say your dad, bro. He keeps trying to hide that it's his dad. You guys will get more info about the dad. But Darren's his dad.
We usually go after political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians, scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
Maybe this is all under a
I'm going to assume that
misunderstanding.
you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you
maybe
said.
you're being
that
trolled
you're just
by somebody
really
and this all
lazy
got set
or
up.
incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
That's a no.
Never,
That's a
ever,
negative.
ever. Now you're either lying.
We don't work with women on this show.
That's not what he said, though.
So that's impossible.
Or you're so lazy. Because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us moved. You're
It's
so
funny,
lazy.
if you look at the title of this, oh good, I paused it at the perfect time. Crowder saying Ethan lied about having a female booker.
You didn't even just verify the fact that it was complete.
Well, you know what? I took this to heart. So I said, you know what, Stephen, I am going to look into this. I found the email that was sent to me. It was very professional. And it still had her social media contacts on it. And so I followed her down on Instagram. And I said, hey, blank, did you ever do booking for Louder with Crowder? I'm just trying to verify that this email I got from you inviting me on the show is real or not. Thanks. Here's the email, by the way. Super professional. Definitely a real email, by the way. this one in particular. She immediately responded to me. She said, "Yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure whose contact you'd have now. I know his dad does his booking for him, though. Let me know if you need it to try to find his contact." Interesting that she knows that detail. That makes me think that is very real. And that he's lying about inviting me on his show. How odd. Well, yeah, and while we're talking about lying, Steven, why don't you tell him that you never filed a lawsuit? Tell us if you filed that lawsuit against YouTube, Steven. Come on, be honest with your viewers. And Steven says he doesn't want to bully me, but here he goes on to say this, and I am feeling very insecure now that Steven has taken a shot at me.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first of all, you have.
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Steven had Kleenex on his table, which is pretty funny, let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue. I mean, what is he, crying every second? So listen to this.
Get out of here. That's due to allergies, okay? So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines in
Okay, sorry. About that email thing, though, like, the verification he did isn't even that good of a verification. Like, like he just asked the person who sent the email. How does he know the person who sent the email wasn't a troll starting shit and made, like, this professional-looking email? And then now you're emailing them. They're like, oh, yeah, I work for him, blah, blah, blah. And then mentions his dad that Ethan himself knows, Sam Seder knows. So I'm going to assume most people know that his dad is his producer, or his agent or whatever. So it's like, that's not like really hidden information. They could be like, oh, nobody really knows that. So that must mean he works. So like, this is all public knowledge. And that could just easily have been a troll just starting shit, But he takes that as like, oh, I did verify it and blah, blah. Like, no, you didn't. You didn't really.
Mutable condition.
You don't even know if the person you're
with
DMing with
Don't
is a
put the
woman.
tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here,
He's
so
not
we
that
can
worked up.
talk
It
about
seems
any
like a
genetic
normal
conditions,
person.
like
Sure.
the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
That one I didn't get. What's the 120-pounder? Cinderella?
Yeah, 120 pounds.
If he's talking about me, I'm
100%
I am not 120 pounds.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't know how you can look at this dude and think he's 120 pounds.
Well, anyway.
And to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the...
Experience matters. For over 145 years,
He's
more
making fun of his
families
tick.
trust 80...
All right. Get that ad out of here. Oh, no. I got into full screen and I didn't want to. His face.
It's like E.T. in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro. The point is...
I always think it's like hilarious when people actually go to the debase themselves to making fun of my Tourette's. It's like, well, okay, dude.
I get it, but the point is also that if you can make fun of him, why can't he make fun of you? He wasn't making fun of you for the sake of making fun of you. He was making fun of you to make a point, saying that, oh, you want to make fun of my genetic condition, then I can make fun of yours, right? Then it's even. And
I really got you hard with the tissue thing, bro. Just don't put the tissue on. I can't hide my Tourette's.
You fired the first volley by making fun of his allergies. So.
Your allergies, dude.
Which you didn't
Crowder
actually
has
do.
a disability.
Yeah, we didn't realize he had a
know.
disability like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
But also, yeah, I wouldn't even care if he made fun of me. For
I had all that. I'm deeply offended, though, at the bullying portrayed, and I take absolute cross with that. And Dan had this one moment that actually went a little bit viral in the political community.
This is Ethan actually. I stopped his face on a good spot, too. But this is Ethan actually is being the one who has the issue here. This is why Ethan is the one sinking down to the level of tricking him. This isn't like Steven Crowder is upset that I did that tissue joke, so he's coming at me hard. No, this is Ethan is upset about all the things that Crowder has said, and he's butthurt about it and wants to prank, sink to some level to do some douchey shit to him,
That Steven notably ignored during our tit for tat. I'll play it for you here. And this is where I'm leading
to. A lot of people, but just because I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, and but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam. So
Why though?
And notably, he doesn't include this. He watches.
So it's funny. That's his producer who wants him to debate Sam Seder. That's how this whole thing is set up. That's why he knew this was going to happen. The producer already put out a video or sent him a video of him saying it's time debate Sam Seder. Like, so I mean, this was pretty obvious. I don't know why Crowder even agreed to do this.
Clip, but not to debate Sam Seder.
Weird, he didn't cover that part. He went into a lot of detail on it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to debate Sam Seder. Why would he agree to debate someone he doesn't want to debate? Like what? And why is it wrong for him to not want to debate certain people? Why can't he pick and choose who wants to debate?
Now, who is Sam Seder? Sam Seder is the host of a political left-leaning show called The Majority Report. Has 1 million subs. Show. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam.
I didn't know about this until
earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad. Sam secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event, who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I think you're bigger. Yeah, I don't know what his team is doing around him, and that's just for me to speculate at this point.
She literally says at the beginning of this clip, they're playing this clip as some sort of proof that Crowder backed out and chickened out of a debate with Sam Seder, and at the beginning of it, the lady says, "I'm not sure what's going on. I can only speculate." Like, how is this proof then? This isn't proof. This anything this said. Audio recording they're putting out as proof. It says right here, like, Cold Feet Crowder, Steven Crowder runs away from Sam Seder debate, and they're playing this as if it's some sort of proof, but it's not. The lady literally says this is just her speculation. She has no idea.
I don't know.
He has a whole team, and he won't do it. He can bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
By the way, everyone seems to be confirming that it's his dad doing all this shit behind the scenes somehow. So people speculate that actually he actually backed out of the debate because Sam is actually, an informed, good debater. And they were afraid that, Crowder would look like an idiot.
Maybe, or they found something better to do with that time that paid more or would be more beneficial.
The thing is, he's happy to challenge me, somebody that has no political
But this is the win. That's all you had to do was make a video and say, look, Crowder's challenging me, somebody who's not, and he's running from Sam Seder. That's it. That's what you had the win. That's the point. Why sink down to a grimy level if you have the win already? At least from his perspective, he has the win already. There's no need for this at all. Like, it's basically just getting dirty for the sake of getting dirty when you don't need to.
Oh, very little. I don't spend my day talking and thinking about politics, nor am I a debater, nor am I, let's be honest, intelligent. So
why accept this then? Why not just make a video like he used to? Back in the day when they had H3H3 and they didn't do this podcast, when people fucked with them, what would they do? They'd make little exposed videos and be like, look, this person called me this, but well, who are they really? And then put up videos of them doing the same thing, and shots my eye, you're a hypocrite. You're criticizing me for this, but this is what you do. You're a hypocrite. Like, that's all he had to do was talk about, he challenges me, but he dodges people like this and that, and that's all you had to do. We would have had it.
Let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with the topics, who does spend their time thinking about politics, and who is, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
I'm really glad to have my next guest on the show, and I've always said this. I always respect people who enter into the arena.
Side, I guess we'll see
and we've had a lot of debates on the show, which is different from like a Change My Mind when we sit down and have conversations.
Ethan requested the debate. Saying, "Oh my god,
switch, we go switch."
So he's the one. So this was planned from the beginning. Like, Ethan didn't have to do this at all, and he's the one who set this up. He wanted to go so dirty that he was like, "I have the win, but I want to like really take a shit on this guy, and just be a really grimy motherfucker. Like, this is what I want to do." So he sets this whole thing up, probably with his producer, who's the fan of Sam Seder, and he's like, "Oh, he's been dodging this guy. Let's set this up that we can blah blah." And it's like, Ethan, if you're not good at debates and you're not smart, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you think it's indicative of this guy's shitty character that he challenged you to a debate while dodging Sam Seder, just talk about that. That's all you had to do. Like, it's weird that he would go this far for something that he already had, At least to him. Maybe people don't agree that he already had the win, but regardless or not, like he could show that,
You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy.
And leave it up to Crowder.
So we
to
always
have to
try and
defend that,
keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
Did Ethan cut out the part where they were being cordial and talking to each other about the things, right? That already happened, right?
I think so.
I think so. There's he totally cut that out. Why did he? That's weird, right? That he would cut that out.
Yeah.
And which
Something
is
like
fine,
that.
and I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
He started chewing gum.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes.
All right. So
Dan,
we were going
whenever
to
you're
talk
ready.
about...
He looks nervous.
is,
He's the
we
one.
were gonna talk-
Honestly, Ethan's the one that looks nervous, right? Look at him there. Look how easily. Usually, Ethan does look nervous, but he looks a little extra nervous. He
Ethan
pops in the
Klein,
gum right
H3,
there, and he's like looking
H3.
around like,
Ethan,
"You ready?
Thanks, man, for making the time.
He looks all
You're
sweaty
very
and shit.
welcome, and I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
He's not chewing gum yet.
I
Watch, he
think
starts
so.
chewing.
Something like
Fine,
that.
and I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right, because I don't think I'm a very
here
good
it is.
debater.
I need some
I think
gum.
you
I'm
know
freaking
that.
out. I hope so,
So
my take.
I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Yeah, look at
Oh,
and he's
okay.
breathing hard. Too easy for
So
you.
I prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
So, Dan,
what we were
whenever
going to
you're
talk
ready.
about is what we were
Dan,
going to talk
whenever you're
about
ready.
is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to
Yeah,
think
see, you
about
can't
it
see the other
regarding
screen.
the
This
CDC.
is what he's seeing.
And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing, in an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen.
Because of
what did I
this,
tell you?
I
He was
guess.
going to do anything he could.
Spartan armor systems? Is that what he was making reference? I was wondering before, but now I noticed
think so,
this.
yeah.
And I'm like, why was he saying I was like just like a random thing to mention Spartans? But is he talking about this?
Like
Who
some
cares?
sponsor that he has for that's called Spartan.
But I mean, like, why? Yeah, that's such a weird thing. It's like I don't know where
to
he go,
avoid.
why he would even
there
say
he
it.
is. Oh no, Sam
even work.
Cedar. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
But then
I
this is
told
where it
Dave,
switches
Dave,
to this
remember I
guy.
told you? I said this is. I guarantee you, he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Oh, I just think he
But see, to me, I feel like they're doing what they're doing, right? So they put Sam Cedar on here, and they make a reference like, "Crowder, why are you hiding? Why are you on the side? And why are you showing your co-host?" And it's like, why are you showing Sam Cedar? Like,
somebody else.
Put
It-
Ethan
yeah, it
back
doesn't look
on,
like-
and then Crowder will come back on. Like, why is it so weird that they go to that? Like, oh, why are you showing your co-host? And I've heard them bring it up and be like, oh, it's so weird. They went to his co-host. I was like, it's not that weird.
believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan
you know
Klein
what?
doesn't stand up and do his
Funny,
own
I gotta
fighting.
say,
It's just
told
hilarious.
my
Let's bring on the
producers
FM.
that you would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
Yes,
at the
that's
beginning
right.
of
Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah,
was-
Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting
Sam
to get
Cedar.
your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Stephen, I mean, it's about issues. Let's
about
talk about
issues,
those
yeah.
issues.
That's
I
what
think
you're
you have
doing
some
here.
valid
Yeah.
points.
You're
that
so
I think we
clever.
should
I had no
discuss.
idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts
I
eyes.
wish every
You take those off with the velveteen
really are.
buttons.
We must have been
Black
very
eyes,
worried about
aren't
this,
they? Like
Stephen.
it's-
I don't know why.
No
it would
one's
be
worried
Oh, come
about
on,
it.
so
Sam. I
concerned.
didn't want to
Well,
do
let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If
on.
no
I'll
one's
tell you
worried,
what. I
let's
have a
do
general. I have a general.
This is a
rule.
great
I
opportunity.
don't start a
to-
debate based with people on a lie. And how
Or
about you get to a,
sabotaging.
how about you get
Stephen,
to a
show
30th
yourself,
of the
you
audience
coward.
share?
Stephen, show
Show yourself, you
Show
coward. You
yourself.
see what I'm talking about?
Show
Show
yourself, and he's not
yourself, you
even on the
coward.
screen.
Like, you're
Ethan,
not
you
on the
should
screen
show
yourself,
yourself.
bro. Like, what do you mean show yourself, you're coward? See, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so weird that he's not showing himself. But this shows Ethan's character, though. This is
Yeah.
showing of Ethan's character.
Then how can you respect me?
It's okay when I do it. It's not okay when you do it. You know? I'm a coward. I'm not a coward, but you're a coward.
Your little
even though you're-
leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your
Ethan, come on,
sidekick.
Ethan, why do you have to bring on a
Show
guy who has
Steven.
a 30th of the viewership
Why
of
is
this
the
show?
saddest thing I've ever heard? So you have a
Just
guy
show
with
Steven.
less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't?
Well, obviously, if I'm a,
Apparently he had to think
obviously
about
I'm
it,
a,
bro.
if I'm a layup
Yeah,
and
he
not a
had to think
debater.
about
I'm a layup. Yep. So
You're the one
prove
who
you're
got-
not
you're the
then.
one who got
You're
debated.
just proving them right.
That's
That's
great.
all you
Bringing
can
it, like,
do.
watching ratings
Hold
instead
on a
of
second. All right, hold on a second.
You proved them right with a
Let me
prank.
hear what Pate Pen has to say
That's
here real quick.
basically
Show
But
Steven.
Ethan, look, I don't.
Ethan.
Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I
Thank
came
you.
on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man.
There's the part
The
where he
same
should have
reason
said,
that-
when you're ready to have this conversation, let me know. I'm going to mute and continue. I'm going to mute on your end and continue on with my show and go through my show as if, you know, and nothing happened and it's normal day, you know. When you're ready to have this conversation, wave in the camera or something and I'll
Let me
unmute
know.
from the show and then we'll have the conversation. But till then, I'm going to do my own thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's what he
I
should have
haven't ever
done.
had a
Like, this isn't what I
conversation with
agreed
Sam
to,
Cedar,
so
the
I'm
same
just going to
reason
go
that,
about my
Joe
day
Rogan,
until you're ready.
Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just
What's
like
the
you
lie?
claiming my Ethan.
What's the
you
lie?
I
claiming-
agree with Kairu in the chat saying that with every year that passes, Ethan shows himself to be more and more of a dickhead. Yeah, I agree with that. It seems like that's what seems like to be happening. Like, my first inclination with that was with we're talking about with Keemstar, and I don't like Keemstar, and I think Keemstar's that kind of person. But then Ethan sinking down to that level and getting into like a mud war with Keemstar made me realize, like, oh yeah, he's kind of a douche, you know, like he can be an idiot too and be a person of low moral character. And then this is just, you know, him doing it even more, you know. And Crowder didn't even do it to him. In this case, Crowder looks better than Ethan because Crowder came on to have a legitimate conversation with Ethan, and Ethan sunk down to the mud, you know, to get him. And then shit talked him in the intro too.
Ethan, when you know
Steven,
that's
what's the
not
lie?
true. There's no
What's
one
the
ducking
lie?
you,
Why
Sam.
are you
I've
so
never
afraid?
Sam,
Yeah, listen,
Sam,
I
Sam,
think
Sam,
you're
Sam.
a smart
I
guy.
can call out Mike
I don't
Tyson.
understand why
It doesn't mean that I'm
you are
ducking him.
so worried about this.
Why do you
I
feel that?
honestly
I
why
still
do you
laugh
feel
that he
anyone-
said that
Sam,
backwards.
why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing
I
the show
don't think
for
anybody
10
owes
times
me
as long?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't.
That's
ask him.
he literally threw Ethan under the bus right here from saying that. He's like, I didn't ask for this airtime. Ethan gave it to me, which like Sean was saying, it was Ethan who asked for this debate. So Ethan set this up. I don't even think Sam Cedar asked for this. I think Ethan's producer probably contacted Sam and said, "Hey, you want to play? You know, I'm gonna have Steven Crowder on. You want to jump in? You know." But he's kind of throwing Ethan under the bus here.
Yeah.
For it, and
Right,
so
no, you've been begging
the
for
real
it for a long
question
time
is,
with everyone
Steven,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so
he
worried about
can't build an
engaging with me?
audience, and so what
Why
happens is
are
he
you so
uploads 15
worried about-
times more,
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's
Do
why
you
he
think
wants to
that your
debate you, is so he
audience-
can build his.
Do you
Sam,
think
come on.
your audience
Yeah,
cares
yeah.
that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million
I think.
subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your
don't think
question?
they
Can I
do.
answer your question? Can I answer your question? Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben
Well, now
Shapiro's
they
and
all
Dave
know
Rubin.
who I am.
Now they
You
all know
just
who you
introduced
are
me.
because you had to
That
show
doesn't mean
yourself
anything.
into
Now
the
they
show.
know who you
Coward
are
show.
because
College
you
students
snuck on.
every day that you do that,
Because you
my
forced
mind,
your
I
way
don't
into
know
it.
who those
This is
college
This is another
students
lie.
are.
This is another lie.
What possible
Let
difference
me
would it be?
clarify, Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. To change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How did
professors
you know
on the.
I ended
This is
my
what-
show
okay, he's not
early
gonna talk.
last week, Stephen? If your audience
Because
doesn't even
you're an
know me,
idiot,
how
and
did you
half of
know
your
that?
staff
Do
doesn't
you watch
like
my
you.
show?
Because I'm a
See,
die.
this is the thing I caught when he asked him, "How did you know I ended my stream early last week?" He says, "Let's see if we can hear
Because you're
it.
an idiot,
How
and
did you
half
know
of your
that?
staff
Do
doesn't
you watch
like
my
you.
show?
Because you're an idiot and half of your staff doesn't like you." That tells me there's people in Sam Cedar's staff or an H3H3 staff that tipped him off and told him, "Hey, these guys are planning something. Watch out. Like, pay attention to the Minority Report." Or Majority Report it's called. Pay attention to the Majority Report and pay attention to the H3H3 because they're planning something. Like, that's why he knew.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Because why else would he say it's because your staff doesn't like you, right? It's obviously somebody and their staff is leaking information over to these people, to Crowder. Like,
I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard
Yeah.
fan.
If you're a
yeah, and then they went to the
But I
joke of
just
saying it's
met
because
you.
he's a
Why
diehard
not?
fan.
Congratulations,
Have me
Sam Cedar's fan.
and Stephen
I'm just
have
a
a
huge
conversation.
fan.
I will
Well,
talk
right now,
about
every
the
time I
issues
try and
that
talk,
you
you're
want to talk
interrupting,
about,
Sam.
Steven.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting, Sam.
bombarded the show.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claimed
Bombarded?
just like you claimed that I ducked the debate with
Bombarded
you under a
is a weird
false
word. He meant
pretense. Have I
ambush.
ever
That is what the Politicon people told me. I
Oh, is
played
that what they
the
told you?
audio of
So
it.
you're just lazy
Yeah.
with your research?
And if
No,
big tech
what
is,
more
You
research
continue
do
with the
I need?
lie.
They
You need
said
to
were
research to say,
booked.
did Steven ever accept?
They said you were
Let me
booked.
explain to you. Let me explain
They
to you.
said
Let me
you were
explain.
booked,
Hey,
and then you
whoa,
dropped
Sam,
out and you literally
Sam,
cold
sweetheart.
feet.
Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let
I'm
me
not
finish.
a stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining,
Well,
which may
I'm
explain the
not a
audience.
stand-up
Ironic, irony alert, Steven.
I'll give Ethan the irony alert there.
Can I answer your
Because
question?
Crowder's not very funny.
Sam,
It's kind of ironic.
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? When have I, as a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay and they're full of losers.
What about
And you've been
Gavin McInnes's
clamoring
show?
for it, and it's a
Gavin told me
lie.
that you dropped out of doing
How
his
can you
show
say
because
that
This is just hearsay and gossip.
But how can you
I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants
Well,
to keep debating.
I don't know.
need to talk
It's
about any
bizarre.
of this.
Then. All right,
Let's talk
okay.
about the
I mean, in the end, was Chrissy saying, I agree with this. Maybe Sam was sticked up too, but in the end, it doesn't like. This is a win-win situation for Sam Seder. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets to jump on this bigger channel than him, yell at this other guy who has a bigger channel than him that he wants to debate. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a win-win for Sam Seder. Ethan really is the one losing out on this, and then they think it's a loss for Crowder, but I don't think it's that much of a loss for Crowder. I'm sure there's going to be a few people that are going to say something, but in the end, I don't think this is much of a loss for Crowder. I think he could just laugh this off and move on. Like, yeah, they pranked me.
Do you want to have a conversation, Ethan,
Let's talk
about the
big
vaccine?
tech.
Because
Ethan, do you want to have a
Absolutely, I
conversation?
do.
You're going to hide.
You felt
Absolutely,
so
I
strongly
do.
about
Big tech.
So why are you
Absolutely,
hiding
I
behind
do,
Sam
but he
Seder?
doesn't.
No,
Have a
me and Sam are
conversation
aligned. I'm not
with
hiding.
him.
He just
Well, you're just a
he knows the
liar.
issue.
So you're a liar.
Because remember we said, hold on a second, hold on a second.
I mean, it sort of
yeah.
feels like
It's
you guys are the ones who are
ridiculous.
hiding.
It sure feels like you
Really?
guys are the ones that are
No.
hiding. What? Like, how does that work? How does that work at all?
Yeah.
Sam, if you wanted this conversation to happen, you should duck out so that Ethan can talk to him. Like, obviously you want to hijack the conversation is what it is. And Crowder's not playing that game. He's like, why should I let you hijack this conversation? Like,
This is actually.
and then you're trying to say I'm a coward for not having a conversation
Who
with a
never
hijack.
appears on
Like,
stage, never does a live show,
But it's a
never
comic.
even never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program. It's just hiding.
Right.
Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven,
you know
you're wearing a
that we
holster.
agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. Yeah? So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a
I don't
hat
see
or
that. I
you-
think
Well,
him.
you're talking about
I do laugh about that. I think him wearing those holsters is like him showing off. I don't think it's for him to show responsible gun ownership. I think he's showing off. Yeah, he's trying to show off. Like, don't play this game. You're virtue signaling like gun rights. You're not trying to do anything else besides that. It's corny. You're in your studio. You're safe. Like, there's no reason for you to have your holsters on
those
during
off.
your show. Yeah, like hang them up or put them somewhere. Like,
That's what you hide strategy.
That's not very funny.
You have a holster, bro.
Also, your
you have a
sponsor
holster.
Spartan.
As he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a
main
show.
sponsor is about gay boy
All right,
love.
okay.
All of it.
All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have.
No.
yeah, you got it. No, basically the prank. You got it. You pranked me. Good job.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on,
Ethan.
let
We'll
me make
release the
one
private
point,
messages.
Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven,
All right,
don't
thanks,
bail.
guys. I appreciate it.
Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam,
Don't
one
bail,
thing
you
before I go.
coward.
One thing before I
If
go.
it's
Can you
about
take off your
issues,
glasses?
Steven,
Hold
One
on.
thing before I go.
I
Can you
just
take
wanna
off your
see-
glasses?
we just wanna see if
I
there's
just want to
buttons.
see if you take them off. If you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Steven,
Or if there's a soul.
Let's
Just
debate.
take off the glasses.
Let's debate, Steven.
hide behind the
Debate.
glasses.
Are you saying let's debate while he has Sam Seder there? Kick off Sam Seder and be like, okay, let's debate. If
that debate.
if Ethan wanted to do exactly what he was saying right now, let's debate, don't leave, he would click the button to knock Sam Seder out of the video, and then he'd be like, all right, I kicked Sam Seder out. Let's have this debate, but he doesn't. He doesn't do that. In fact, it keeps Sam Seder on longer, and they discuss this whole thing.
Debate the issues. What does it matter who you debate, coward?
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Coward.
Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah, you can give me the
run
X.
away.
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow.
Yeah, look, and they're all cheering and laughing. Like, all right, you pranked
He
them.
did it,
He
guys. He really
admit
did
to
it.
following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
He admitted that he watched the show last
Well,
week.
he kind of admitted that, but he also said something about someone in your staff not liking you. So it might not be because he was watching. It was probably because he got tipped off by somebody in this guy's own staff.
Yeah.
Probably tipped him off and said, pay attention to the show. Something weird's going on, you know?
We got him. Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
You got him as a prank. I mean, is that if you wanted a prank, that's fine. Don't play it off as if it's something more than a prank.
So do you want to respond to here? You want to throw him up, Dan? Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Now that he's not, that they were talking over him.
He's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want to do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who
No, he
literally
just doesn't care
tracked
to.
my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who
It's not afraid, it's 'cause he
claims
thought it
to
would
have
happen.
watched. I don't know. I
If
don't
he
know
was
what it
afraid
is
it
he
would
said he
happen, he
watched,
would
but
cancel out and
he's
just
not
not do the
worried
show
about
at all.
audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus.
Sandbags him. What does that even mean? What do you mean sandbags them? He has discussions with them. He invites them to have discussions with him. He doesn't trick them into it.
I have the recording from Politicon when they
Those
called
are not
and he
comparable.
backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder, and Crowder left. And so, you know, I think Steven is afraid of debating somebody. You know, look, I do a political show every day. It's dry,
I don't.
it's boring,
It's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference between?
I like the Sam Cedar just said his own show is dry and boring, and Ethan said that's exactly right. I don't think he realized.
I don't think he heard what
Yeah, I don't
you
think
said
he
and agreed to.
was fully paying attention to what Sam Cedar was saying. Sam Cedar said, "I do a political show. It's dry and boring, and you don't." He said, "Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your show is boring."
Me and anybody in the world.
I mean, only that he is convinced that for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case. I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine. I thought Kirk did a fairly good job. I think Steven's not a total idiot, but I also do think he's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the email, super professional. So I was like, I reached out to the girl.
It's not
She said,
hard for somebody to fake a professional email, like, you know, and then he messages the exact person who sent them that email, and they say, "Oh yeah, I worked from years ago." Like, when did you get this email? Was it years ago? Because this person's saying they worked there years ago. You know, like, isn't this email recent, or is it like old, like? Or is it from years ago? Because that seems weird. 7 million YouTube views. I don't think Crowder had that much years ago. He has that much now. You know, so did he have that much years ago? So it's weird that he's using this as proof when the person he's even messaging saying it that they hadn't worked there in years.
I said, "Did you send me this email?" She said, "Yes, I did. Years ago, for a few months, I worked for Steven Crowder."
It wasn't, "Did you send me this email?" Yes, years ago. You can read it, and it says, Did you work there? He said, "Did you work there as a booker?" Hold on, let's go back to I can read that for sure. There's a part in this.
He's a bit of a liar.
I mean, yeah, we even went through the effort of tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the
damn it. It's so fast you can't really see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can
tracking down this claim that he never booked us for the show. I mean, here's the
well, yeah.
The email, super professional. So I was like, I definitely.
Oh, here
I
it is.
reached
Oh, goddamn.
She said, I
well.
said, "Did you send me this email?" She said, "Yes, I did. Years ago, for a few months, I worked for Steven Crowder booking."
Yeah, but I worked for Steven Crowder. But saying years ago. Did that email come years ago? Is he saying that he got an email years ago to talk to Crowder?
Not quite sure who you'd contact now. I know his dad
seems like
does the booking for him. Let me know if you need me to try to find you. How would she know that? If
How
she
would
didn't
she
work
know
with
that?
him?
How do you know that, Ethan?
Years ago for 2 months.
Like, how do you know that, Ethan? How does Sam Seder know that? You guys have been talking nonstop that his dad does the booking for him. Sam Seder's been talking about this for a while because he's been talking about this Politicon event and saying that his dad is the one. So how do you guys know that? Probably the same way this person does this.
You know what's
messaging,
funny
right?
is
it's
that
common
when
knowledge. It
the-
seems like. So it's like, why do you think that this is some weird thing? Like, how did they know that? Like, everybody seems to know this. It seems like.
Politicon, when the woman from Politicon called me, she also mentioned that his dad. She said his team. I think Steven got cold feet. His team pulled him out, and I said, "Wait, he's got a team?" And he said, "Well, his dad."
Right.
And
Right.
you know, I mean, I called my dad to see if he could call Steven's dad, to see if Steven would debate me like on some type of play date, but my father reminded me that I was a grown man and I should probably handle it myself.
Oh, you know, that's funny. My dad is actually Zooming
Yeah,
with
but
his
that's
dad.
through Politicon. His dad's an agent. These guys are talking as if something else
Their
happened. You know, right?
parents
Like,
is
it doesn't
just,
work
giving them like
the way they think it
permission to
happens.
do
Ah, maybe
things.
your dad shouldn't
Yeah.
fight your battles. It wasn't a battle. They were booking an event. Like, they weren't setting up a fight. They were booking an event. The event didn't work out, so they unbooked the event. Like, your dad isn't the person who who books stuff for you. So, like, you know, but why wouldn't you give your dad a job if you could, right? And had tons of money and your
Yeah.
dad was good at that. Why wouldn't you give him that job? I actually think it's kind of cool that he has his dad work for him, or the other way around. I don't know. If maybe his dad is the one who made him big, you know, booked the right events for him and stuff. You know?
Dad later today to debate this very topics. You know what else he lied about?
Why not?
Filing this lawsuit. There's no lawsuit he ever filed. At
I'd love
least
to see Hassan make fun of this and be like, he has his dad do the blah blah when Hassan is only where he is
Hassan
because of
worked
his
for-
uncle, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's like your uncle did everything for you. You worked for your uncle for the longest time. Like, what are you talking about?
I can find in the public record, which lawsuits are public record. So he is a liar, as far the evidence does suggest.
Yeah, and the thing is
Something
that, you
about
know,
a
they
lawsuit
go
that's
on
not
and on.
real. I don't know about that. I guess that could be, but I mean, who cares if he's a liar in that case? That doesn't really mean anything.
On about getting demonetized from YouTube or whatever it is, and they never. For them, it's really just a way of generating clicks. There are
Oh yes, the same with
policies.
the lawsuit.
Yeah, it's a business.
Like,
Like,
there's
what
pot-
what do you think it is?
kettle.
It's a show. It's a business.
This is hot calling kettle black. Like,
Yeah,
this
like,
is
what are
what
you
we're
talking about?
doing. Like,
Yeah, it's a show. Maybe that's why he has 7 million subs and you don't, Sam, because you're not treating your show like a business like you should. Like, it's a show.
yeah.
I mean, there are policies that you could pursue, but he can't ever address those because his ideology is such that there's no way for him to address it as a policy matter. So, because as a policy matter, he'd have to agree that there needs to be government regulation of these things, and he doesn't believe in government regulation. And so he just goes out there and makes it as if it's like a conservatives.
This right here, why couldn't he coach Ethan with this? Obviously, Sam Seder's been listening to Crowder. He has what he thinks would be his arguments to what Steven Crowder's arguments would be. Why couldn't he just teach that to Ethan? Like, how hard would that have been? It wouldn't have been that hard. Ethan could have even taken notes down and had notes, but this is why it's lazy. Like, Ethan was just lazy about this and wanted to go into the mud for no reason.
Are
When he
somehow
could
being
have, when he
oppressed
had basically
as
a
opposed
layup
to-
to
It's
look good.
actually not true at all. Everybody who talks about these issues, if they're taking a conservative or liberal stance on them, they're all getting demonetized equally. The fact
That's
that
not true.
the fact that
That's
Steven-
also not true. I would test them on that and say, can I see proof of this, of what you're saying here? That is an equal banning going on here.
wants to go out there and do a mock execution of George Floyd and then act bewildered when his channel gets.
But it wasn't a mock execution of George Floyd. He was testing if what they thought that would work. If you put your knee on the back of someone's neck for 9 minutes, if that would actually, cause. And if it did, he could have actually gotten choked up and shown that it was true, that you could die from that and get choked out from that. But the point was for him to test it and see if whether he can withstand someone having their knee on his neck for 9 minutes. It wasn't a mock. They weren't making fun of it, and it's obvious they weren't making fun of it. I remember seeing the clip of that after it was taken down, and people were passing it on Twitter saying, here's the clip. Everybody's saying that he was making fun of it, but here's the clip. They're not making fun of it. And I saw the clip, and they weren't making fun of it. They were legitimately trying to figure it out.
It's quite surprising to me that he would even be feigned surprised at that.
Yeah, we get, I don't know what our percentage of demonetization is for our videos. It happens. We just don't whine about it like they do and use it to generate clicks. It's because we're willing to talk about topics that we know. I mean, we don't do shit like what Crowder does.
But this is all they had to do. Why didn't they do this? This is what I'm saying. They could have not had anything to do with Steven Crowder. And this, Ethan could have just had H3 podcast number 248 with guest Sam Seder talking about how Steven Crowder's a coward and, you know, how he's clickbaity
like
and
a
this
big
and that.
dramatic reason.
They could have just done that.
Yeah.
They could have just done that and looked better. And when after that, you know what would have happened? Crowder would have probably took that bait and been like, oh, Ethan, you want to talk shit about me with Sam Seder? Why don't you debate me? And then Ethan could have just easily said, you know, oh, why don't you debate Sam instead? You were mad at me for talking shit about you with Sam Seder. Why don't you debate Sam Seder, who's actually somebody who debates, you know, as opposed to me, who I just like make memes, you know? And that's it. That would have been the win. That's it. That would have been it. And then they would have cornered Crowder on that. Crowder would have had to refuse to debate either of them, and they would have looked like the ones on top for that without having to sink low, you know? It's weird that they wanted to sink low for this.
And homophobic, but we will talk about protests. We will talk about you know, political situations that advertisers don't want to be a part of.
Absolutely,
and that's just part of doing the job responsibly. Is understanding you're not going to be able to suck $1 out of every single bit of content if you're actually.
But you act like a political show, where Crowder sure does act like a political show, but Crowder's a political show under the guise of comedy, right? Like he's more entertainment than politics. Whereas Sam Seder just said it himself, he's boring and dry because they just talk politics. They're not entertainment. They're just straight politics talk. You know, it's a totally different kind of show. So when he says we care about the issues and we're going to talk to him regardless if we're demonetized or not, Crowder's not doing the same thing. He's doing entertainment. His point is to get views and make people laugh and entertain people, not to constantly talk about the issues. That isn't the main priority.
Actually, you know, trying to, you know, make a point about issues.
And one other thing he keeps bringing up, apparently the reason he's ducked you, Sam, is because you only have 1 million subscribers.
I know it.
And I've actually challenged somebody to go through all of the interviews he's done and find any with
But he just said interviews, right?
Yeah.
You just messed that up, Ethan. That's you're doing two things that aren't comparable. Go through every serious debate he had, not every interview he had. Interviews are different. Like that's not the same thing.
Under 1 million, because that would be quite ironic.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that Steven has that metric, particularly since half of his, you know, all of his change my minds are with college students who may not even have a YouTube channel.
Right.
He said those weren't debates.
Sure.
Those are conversations.
At least a couple more than that.
Yeah.
And why couldn't Sam Seder go to one of these colleges and meet up with him there and get him on one of those and one of his change his minds and sit down and have a change his mind? Obviously, Steven Crowder probably wouldn't put that up, but I mean, he could do it and try to get put up, you know, or put it up himself, have somebody record it with their phone.
Oh, I feel we got him pretty good here, Sam.
I feel we got him pretty good.
Well,
I mean, you
know,
pranked them.
I would have liked to had an exchange of ideas with Steven.
You could have.
A little bit disappointed.
Me too, he said. You hear Ethan saying me too. You could have. There was an opportunity to do that, and you guys decided to ruin it and chase him off with a prank. As opposed to actually doing the work and have the conversation with him. And like I said, this still could have been a win for Sam Seder if he coached Ethan and Ethan did good in that debate. That's still a win for Sam Seder. He still gets what he wants. He's not personally debating him, but his ideas, like he's saying right now, oh, but we care about the issues. Yeah, if you cared about the issues, you wouldn't have came in and chased Steven Crowder off with a prank. You would have coached Ethan so that Ethan could have had that issues talk with him and stick to the issues, and then you could have had that conversation. But instead of having that conversation, you decided to play a childish prank on him.
Sneaky.
Yeah, play a sneaky childish prank on him and chase him away. Like, where to the point where he's like, well, you just pranked me. Why would I stick around and do what you demand? You know, like, that doesn't seem like it makes any sense. Like,
how much you were looking forward to that too. You know, but I guess Steven is just more interested in personalities than he is actually debating issues.
Yeah.
It's sort of sad.
It is
it's
sad.
Sort of sad
it is sad because he claims he's a political thinker, but he didn't think much in this case.
I gotta wonder if there are
Of course
members
not.
of
Why
his
would he?
audience right now who are probably thinking like, "Hey, wait a second, maybe Steven is actually
No.
afraid of having some type of exchange."
doubt
I
it.
mean, he
Very
spent-
few.
How many times did he say in the preface of going on air with you? You know, a lot of times people won't show up for debates with me.
Yeah.
And,
Here we are,
well,
baby.
yeah, but you showed up and then snuck someone else on. Like, how is that? He doesn't show up for when he says a lot of times people don't show up for debates with me. What he's saying is a lot of people talk big and then accept the debate with me and then back out. He's not saying a lot of people, when I jump on a podcast without them knowing it, run away. You know, like, obviously that would make sense. Like, yeah, because they didn't plan to talk to you. Like,
That's
it's
what
like,
I've always heard Crowder saying, that it's difficult to have like somebody with like an opposite view because they agree and then they back out of it, or they just like are dismissive of him right away without giving him a chance. So.
But I just don't understand the concept that if you don't want to debate somebody, that makes you a coward. Like, look, people don't like Sam Seder. Like, I know tons of people don't like Cenk Uygur and don't want to debate him either. And I'm sure this goes both ways with some people. It's just Sam Seder is probably hungry for attention, so he'll debate anyone. But not everyone is like that. I think Cenk Uygur, I think if with my channel and my size, if I text or tag Cenk right now, make a video about it and tag him on Twitter and say, debate me right now, Cenk Uygur, or you're a coward, I bet he doesn't accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because why would he? I'm a nobody. You know, who is he? Am I going to just accept everyone that wants to debate me? Why? You know, why should I have to debate someone that I don't like? And then if I trick him with a bigger channel and then I jump on and catch him, you think he's going to stick around and debate me? Like, why? I wouldn't give him that expectation. I would think that he's like, oh, you guys are douchebags, I'm out, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird to think that he would. Like, I promise you that if this happened the other way around, and it was someone on the right pulling this on someone on the left, all these same lefties, Hassan Piker, Lance from the Surfs, Vosh, Humanist Report, fucking Emma Viglin, all these people would be saying the exact opposite thing, and they'd be shitting on Steven Crowder for this low blow, and they'd be like, oh, look how much of a douchebag he is, he tricked he tricked Sam Seder into debate, blah blah, you know, it'd be a complete opposite, and they'd be shitting on him for this. But instead it's like, what's good for me isn't always good for you, and the other way around. Like, we're not going to do the same thing.
They expect it from Crowder.
We
so
can
it's
act
okay
this
that they
way,
did it
but when
first
you
or
do it,
something.
yeah, exactly. When you act this way, it's evil. When we act this way, it's funny, and it's cool, and we got you. But it's like, you didn't get him. You just pranked him. Like, you didn't do much.
He only wants to debate, people who have a perspective on the left that have a YouTube channel that's over 1 million. Well, maybe you've got to expand your horizons a little
Maybe
bit.
you should be
Yeah, but
looking to
that's
debate
not up to you to
people
make
who
that
are
decision,
actually
right?
proficient in debating and the topics itself. Instead of, he referred to me as a layup, and I would agree
see?
with him in that I'm not political.
But you agree with him, but you were that butthurt that you decided to pull this dirty stunt on him instead of just making this point on a video, like, and saying like, hey, this guy's trying to debate me. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've done videos like that where people wanted to debate Devin, so they went through me, and I'm like, I don't even debate, like, and then I'll make a video like, look at this dude, like, trying to get me to go on a debate. I don't even debate. Like, is this how desperate you are? Like, it's not that hard, to get that win from that.
And I'm not a debater.
Easy for you to
so
take
what?
that.
So what actual value is there in debating me for him, other than for him to look smart and get an easy point?
Exactly. But let me say this, that the
But
original
what better
points
way
that
to
you were
dunk on him
making
to show
about
that
when
he
it came
can't
to,
get
like,
an
the
easy
masks,
win on you, as
I,
opposed to this.
I've interviewed, I don't know,
It's so
half
weird.
a dozen different epidemiologists, maybe a little bit more over the past year on the show. Some of the top
All of this is exactly
epidemiologists in the
stuff he could have
country.
coached H3H.
And the fact of the matter is that there was confusion and really not the science was not settled on the way that COVID was transferred. They didn't realize that it could be aerosolized. But the bottom line is that wearing masks, once they understood this, where the downside to wearing masks is
Zero. Well, yeah,
And-
according to Steven, scientists are not ever allowed to change their mind. See, scientists need to be right the first time and only the first time.
Look, Ethan's making a point right here. Why couldn't he do that? This is amazing to me that Ethan is he's even having this discussion with Sam Cedar now. Why? Because he feels safe with Sam Cedar, the person who agrees with him. But he's having the discussion. This is literally the same thing he could have been saying to Crowder in a discussion over this. Like, exactly this. Like, that's why this is where I'm talking about where they did this prank for absolutely no reason. This was an easy win for Ethan here. An easy way to look, maybe not a win, but at least a way to look better and be like, look, I'm not a douchebag like you who's going to challenge people lesser than him to, debate stuff, and then run from other people. And it was so easy. He had it. I don't know why you would sink to this level and make Steven Crowder look. This was the way I said it, because these guys kept tweeting out, well, we made him look stupid, this and that, we got him. And then, and they would say, oh, his fans are going to leave, his fans now know. And I'm tweeting it out like, you guys serious about this? Like, all you guys did was prank him. You think his audience, you gave him the out. You gave him the way to tell his audience, see, they weren't serious about it, they tricked me, blah, blah. You gave him that out. Like, you had him, and you totally let him slip through your fingers to give him an out.
I thought, guys.
Yeah. They spurred out about it so much, as opposed to taking the easy win, that they went the hard way and made themselves look worse instead, when they could have came out looking better and take this win and take their little victory lap. But instead, they're taking a victory lap for something that they're delusional about, because Crowder's audience isn't going to leave them over this.
They're not allowed to change their stance with data and research, and if they do, then they're frauds forever. Honestly, that's a legitimate argument. Why couldn't Ethan do that to him? I don't get it. Like, it's so stupid, but that's how lazy and how scared he was. I guess this is what makes Ethan look scared of this, is that he's doing it now. He could have done it to Crowder. Why not? Right. I mean, I even saw Steven talking about, Fauci was wrong about AIDS back in, the early 80s, and that's proof.
Right.
Fauci was wrong sometime previously in his career, so therefore he is a fraud forever.
So why couldn't you use that, Ethan? Why couldn't you use that in an argument with him? Why? It makes no sense.
That Crowder put up
and then he's trying to say that this is a gotcha, that Crowder ran away from a debate, when he's showing himself that he's perfectly capable of having had that conversation.
Making a big deal about these emails from Fauci. And one of them he put up was from February 12th, where Fauci was saying, we don't think masks for the general public is going to be that effective or make a point.
Which is what he said publicly.
Which is what he said publicly a month later. But the fact is that the development of the science behind aerosolization of the virus.
We get the arguments. But these are all stuff, like I said, this is all stuff he could have coached
to wear a mask.
That's the part that bothers me the most about this, is they could have actually worked on this.
Skills as a debater, that seems to be what Crowder's understanding is.
Apparently, or it's just that he is looking for any excuse as to why he doesn't want to have a conversation with somebody who actually, day in, day out, reads this stuff and talks to.
For sure, maybe he doesn't, but that's why I'm saying just make the video saying that. Like, this literally could have happened without tricking him.
And talks to reporters. I mean, look, you can find a lot of people who will say the Earth is flat. And if I aggregate those into all the scientists who say the Earth is in fact not flat, then you could say there's some questions. But that's not the way that science works. The fact of the matter is that, like, we have a basic understanding of what's going on. And the idea of you saying, listen to the scientists, particularly addressing YouTube guys.
Well,
right?
When you're Steven Crowder,
a good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, so obviously our whole little battle came when Steven said it's his favorite clip of the year, of us saying, listen, if you're like, it's okay to listen to scientists. who are trying to say.
Which is a reasonable point. So if his argument is starting from him saying that, he's saying a reasonable point. Like, it's not that hard to defend that. Like, what are you talking
It's
about?
okay. You don't need to question every single thing that comes across your desk, especially
Totally
if
true.
you have no qualifications at all to assess this information. The fact that we need to be skeptical of every single thing of our government, that we don't trust our government to that extent, then our society has failed us in a way that we should just end it now.
But I think like you can be skeptical, but the fact of the matter is that what Crowder is not doing, he's not being skeptical in any type of thoughtful way. He is weaponizing doubts that happen to align with his political ideology. We saw it with the president that he was so supportive of.
I don't know if I agree with that, because I don't think I agree with that when it comes to political ideology, because the left is the same way at being like, don't trust the government, anti-government stuff. Like, the far left is all that too. They do the same shit. So I don't know what he's talking about. Like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, you can. It's not hard to find many clips of Trump saying this is just going to go away. It's not really serious. There's only a couple of cases. We shouldn't even test.
Right.
And Crowder, that's why Crowder was doing it. I mean, if he was doing a genuinely skeptical, sort of like categorization and cataloging of the science, and laying it out there in a way that showed some measure of integrity. But let's be honest. I mean, people just watch this. Crowder had the opportunity to debate this with somebody who is serious about it and wanted to debate with him. I did nothing but,
for Ethan.
Right. Like, this is the thing of how it's one-sided. Steven Crowder had the opportunity to have this debate, saying with Sam. He didn't want to take it. Just like Ethan had the opportunity to argue with Steven Crowder and try to work at it and get better at it and defeat him. He could have had test debates with people and stuff like that and work his way up to it and not be lazy and beaten Steven Crowder at this. I don't think it's that hard of an argument to have. I think this is an easy argument that even somebody like Ethan would be able to have. And I feel like he's even having that conversation now that he could have had with Steven Crowder. And I don't understand why he didn't do it. This just shows that it's Ethan's the one who is the pussy. As much as they keep saying everything they're saying about Crowder goes to Ethan on this. And this is Ethan saying Steven Crowder's shit, but so am I. Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. And it's like they get into a fight and they're both saying they're both shit. And instead of Ethan saying, here's how I am above you and better than you, and you're a piece of shit, Ethan says, come down here with me and we're both pieces of shit, right? It's so weird to go for that when you could go for the, like, I'm a better person. He goes for, no, come wallow down in the mud with me. Like, huh?
This with a respectful manner, and he was afraid to do that because
and Sam Seder isn't even realizing right now, this thing that he's saying right now is he's calling Ethan a coward. He's saying Ethan won't have these debates. He won't have these arguments. That Ethan won't stand behind the things he says on his show, even.
He's full of it.
So
and he's
much
just delivering talking points.
So are you,
that,
Ethan. Exactly. This
his
all goes back to
NRA
Ethan as well.
buddies, give him to go.
Yeah, they all it's all part of the big grift that all these conservative media. It's like you said. It's like they suck every dollar out of every controversy, and that's all that matters to him because he's got these big, beautiful leather holsters, and those things don't fill themselves. And it is worth.
But like, it's kind of dumb because those are like things that also are like kind of sponsor stuff for Crowder, as if Ethan doesn't have sponsors and doesn't do this kind of thing.
Once again.
All right, we got you here in Phoenix.
Perfect. Oh.
That he noticed that you ended your show early last week. And
they don't realize what he said there. They didn't hear him because they were talking.
I know he's watching because he's so.
But there's a
afraid
reason
of
why
Sam
he was watching.
That we need to pre-record something.
Somebody
air it so that he thinks you're live.
Right now, as we are talking, there is a live show that's on. And he came on. We started the show 2 minutes early, and he did not walk on to the set until our show was live.
So true.
And you called, I got to say, you called it last week.
Thank
and
you.
I was like,
he got
I
tipped
can't.
off.
I just don't believe that he's that nervous.
He
about
was. I can't believe he admitted it. What a dumbass to
What a
admit
dumbass.
it.
Yeah, they missed something.
And
There.
also,
They missed that.
like,
They're like souped about him admitting it, but they totally missed the part where they were saying where he pretty much said he was tipped off by their own crew, by one of their crew members. They were tipped off.
Alternative is, I think that Sam could show up, and I can't wait to show my audience how this moron who's been dogging me supposedly.
No, but that's not what he did. He said, "I bet you Ethan Klein ducks out of this, and it has something to do with Sam Cedar." And then you guys showed him that he was exactly right,
and sending
did exactly what he
people
thought
to,
you were gonna do.
You know, debate me and this and that. I'm going to put this to rest once and for all. If Steven Crowder was as much of a man as he seems to be with his, you know, all his weightlifting and his.
This is weird how they have this weird view of what a man is. Like, I don't think any man would have stood by there and did that, like, and would have gave in to their demand because they, you know, played a joke on him or something. You know, like, you promise me, like, imagine I go and we get into an argument and you say, you know, well, not you because you're not a dude, but a dude says, "I'm going to fight you, meet me here and there." And you say, "All right, I agree. Let's have this fight." And then when we go meet, the other person switches out for someone else. And then I'm going to stay. And then I'm not a man if I don't fight that other person. Like, I'm going to go, "No, you said I was going to fight you. Now you bring in someone else. You bring someone else to substitute for you. And now I'm a coward for not wanting to fight the dude you brought in to substitute for you." Like, that's not a man. A man would be like, "No, this isn't the deal we agreed on. Screw you. I'm not doing what you want me to do now." You know, there's a weird version of a man they have. I think it kind of shows that they're not men.
He's got,
he's got
a weapon, for God's sake.
They have this weird version
I'm
of
coming
what a man is.
unarmed. Hands up.
Because they
if
themselves
you want to shoot,
don't know
go
what a
ahead.
How
and
much
shoot.
alpha brain do you think he takes in the morning?
He's probably juicing. And the idea that he had at least a week in advance knowledge that he couldn't come prepared to debate somebody who actually reads this stuff.
You know what's funny is if he really believed that he couldn't come prepared to debate somebody who knows the issues, then you could have trained Ethan to have that discussion and caught him off guard, because he would have came unprepared as they thought. And Ethan would have came prepared and ready for it, and he would have shocked them. You know what I'm saying? Caught him by surprise. But instead, yeah, that's why I don't think they really believe that. I think they twist it.
Spends
It doesn't
their
make
time
logical
doing
sense.
this is almost like the saddest thing that one could say about Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Almost.
And this is why only the left sees this as a victory.
Wow.
They just see it as a dunk on somebody they
Steven.
hate. But really,
It's
it's
really
just a prank.
sad. I mean, I was looking forward to it because I really
the
wanted
ultimate
to
irony, right, as you've pointed out, is that he's the guy who got famous for with the debate me. You can't, if you're the debate
Yeah, I
me
can see
guy,
that, Chrissy.
That's your claim
He actually
to fame.
does look more
You
like a man
can't
than they do.
dodge
I mean,
people that
Ethan's
want to
fucking-
debate you, Steven.
look at
You
Ethan,
gotta
he's blowing
own
up.
this
He's
thing
getting
that you create, this image you created. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. You're like,
And
come on,
Sam
Steven.
Cedar really does look like him.
I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire
But
them.
put some years on him.
Honestly, yeah, I think
I'm
maybe it's
calling
time.
on-
Yeah, this is
Doesn't need to anymore. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like, I think we need to have a meeting with his dad and
Yeah, I have his
bring his
email now,
father.
so I'll
to
be-
the baseball game yesterday. Even
Did you find it interesting too how he wouldn't put the camera on him for a minute? It was just on
But
his
you didn't have the
sidekick.
camera on you, Ethan.
yeah,
That's
what do you
not
think was
that
going on?
interesting.
Do you think he was like going like dad?
Yeah,
get
yeah,
No,
dad,
you could see him on
get
his
dad
own
in
video.
here.
So
Yeah.
you could see
Get
that he
dad
wasn't
in
doing
here.
that.
Got it.
But that's what you
But I'm
did.
glad he
Ethan.
finally brought it back, 'cause
This is the weird thing that I'm saying. This whole conversation they're having, they're making fun of Steven Crowder, but all of everything they're making fun of Steven Crowder for falls right back on Ethan. You know? Yeah, so it's weird. It's almost like he's making fun of himself. Like, he
I was
doesn't
like,
even realize
what is with the sidekick? Why are you throwing him under the bus?
I know it. And the sidekick had to pretend like he was a big fan of mine, and
He had to
that's
come
why
in
they've
real
been
quick,
pretending.
yeah.
They were
monitoring
joking.
the show. That is.
His
That's called the
sidekick
joke.
wasn't even drunk yet. It is early. Usually that guy's pissed drunk by the time they do their show.
To be honest, like I have the only time I think I've watched an extended run of Crowder show was when he was talking about you. I was trying to figure out like how did this start, and he was really drippily condescending for a guy who is afraid to actually test his beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. I haven't seen him.
I mean,
so
he wasn't.
weak
You could have tested
since
it, Lisa.
watching him get punched in the face and dropping like a house of cards
By an old
in
man, right?
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know if you knew this.
Remember that punch though? That was pretty funny.
So Crowder, when he was complaining about what happened on YouTube to him, like he put out a compilation video of people responding to when he got decked by a union guy in Wisconsin at the 2011 march protest against Scott Walker. And in that compilation, I was in it. And he put the video out. And then he pulled it back and cut me out of the compilation and reposted it on Twitter. Do we have that stuff?
Oh wow!
I think
I
think for obvious reasons. I think he doesn't want to give you attention. He doesn't like you and doesn't want to give you any attention. I think we already get that idea already. I think he pretty much said it. Like it's the same reason the other guys don't want to give you attention. They don't like you.
He is deathly afraid of you.
It is. Somebody on Twitter saw it and sent it in. We did a video about it, but it is weird.
He is deathly afraid.
And how he pretends. That's the thing I don't get. Like, how do you spend so much time worrying about somebody that you think is not big enough to even discuss?
Who is he supposed to debate then?
You, Ethan, you asked him to debate. Who else? There would be no debate if you didn't ask him to debate. It's such a weird question to now be like, who is he supposed to debate? You stupid. You said you wanted to debate him on it. My God. He also gave out an invitation to go on his show and said, yeah. Oh, no, wait. He didn't ask him. I saw the Oh, yeah, but he said Sean was saying it was in the DMs. And then I guess Crowder made it like, all right, well, I invite you on my show to have this debate. Let's do it. Either way, that was the whole premise, was he was supposed to debate Ethan, right? So why would you say who was he supposed to debate? Like, what? No.
Yeah, me? I'm not a political debater.
So then why did you want to debate him? You said me? I'm not a political debater. So then why accept it? This is all on you.
Moron.
How can you say who was he supposed to debate and be shocked about it when you're the one who lured him in to debate you?
I'm just some dumbass. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you literally could have gone at him on good and in charitability and say, listen, I'm not good at debates. Can we just have a conversation on it and like talk about it and not have it be like in a debate format or antagonistic? But,
He's trying to pull the Joe Rogan, like, I'm just an idiot. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Even Joe Rogan would actually have that conversation and not be like, oh, I'm going to get some guy to fill in.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he'd either say, okay, let's do this, or
find
not.
makeup tutorial.
And they're saying Crowder's acting. I think they're acting.
Or, I mean, anybody who doesn't
Minecrafters have a lot of subs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's some Minecrafters my son watches that maybe he'd like to debate on some of these issues.
Right.
Yeah, but they're not going to him.
Are they challenging him to a debate?
Well, we got him, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate your attempting to further the discourse, Ethan. I mean,
think,
that's the thing.
and that's all I care about. In the end of the day, I just wanted to put forward the best conversation possible to inform the most people possible. But Steven today wasn't able to do that for us.
I know, it's so sad.
It's a disappointment.
You gave him the opportunity.
And I hope his dad does have a stern talking to, like, son, this is the way to behave. This was not
That's the way to behave
in this
what?
situation. And gives
Ethan, what about you? Like, what the hell is Ethan talking about? Like, he's talking about how Steven Crowder's dad should tell him how to behave, but Ethan, you're the one who just tricked somebody into something. Like, you're the one who deceived someone. Like, what? Oh my God!
I mean, fatherly talk.
There's been times where I've said to my son, "We're going to call up blankety blank's dad or mom, and you're gonna get on the phone and you're gonna apologize."
Apologize, but what does Steven Crowder need to apologize for?
I'm sure.
Is that what you wanted? You wanted an apology for what? What
when Steven's dad
it's
calls?
It's as if this is
and
the first time a parent has ever been somebody's manager.
Yeah. What's like, now they're talking about apologies?
Matter?
Who needs to apologize for what? Like where's their apology for? I don't understand.
Apologizes. You accept that.
Yeah.
You know,
when someone apologizes, you accept that. But who's the apology for? And you don't have to accept an apology, but who's talking about Who apologized? What's going on here? This doesn't even make any sense.
I want to make that.
It's a weird analogy that they were talking about dads teaching people how to act, and then him saying, "Well, I teach my son, and I'll take him to other parents' house so they can apologize." And it's like, well, who needs to apologize?
That's gonna be.
Does he want him to apologize because he backed out of the Politicon? What's the apology for? That's what I don't understand.
One day, those like if that's what they think, like, oh, you apologize, and then everything's like just squared away. That's gonna be a shocker when somebody's like, I'm fine, but I don't accept that. Like,
You gotta apologize for yeah, I don't understand for wanting to debate Ethan. I don't get it. I don't get what they
Absolutely
mean.
clear that if Stephen calls to apologize, I'm going to be gracious about it.
Yeah, that's funny. That you just reminded me.
But
He kept,
calls to apologize for what?
For what?
What does he owe
Ethan
for not going to
wanted this
Politicon?
debate.
Is that what it is? It's for not going on Politicon? Is he has to apologize for? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what he means about Crowder need to apologize for. I don't get it.
telling me.
It's confusing.
He kept telling me, I respect anyone that enters the ring, and I'll make my fans.
But now you
known
just
of
made
that.
him not
it's
respect you,
very,
like-
I respect that you're willing to enter the ring with me.
and he says it in a way that's like
apparently he doesn't
it's
respect
supposed
that
to
about you.
sound like
No.
off.
Ethan just said it. Now see, you know what's funny is they just said why Steven Crowder doesn't want to debate Sam Seder. Ethan's about to say it right here, and he's dead on correct on this. But notice how they don't realize that that's the actual thing. You know, like watch, listen.
That
listen
enters the ring, and I'll make my fans known of that. I respect that you're willing to enter the ring with me, and
right here.
apparently he doesn't respect that about you.
No,
Apparently he doesn't respect that about you. He doesn't respect Sam Seder. That's why he doesn't want to debate him. He already doesn't respect him. Just him showing up doesn't mean he's going to automatically respect him. He already doesn't have respect for him. That's the thing they're all missing from this, is that there's no respect here. He doesn't like Sam Seder. He doesn't take him as a legitimate person to talk to. Like, how do you guys not get this? Ethan was getting the benefit of the doubt from Crowder and being like, look, I respect you. Let's talk. You know, and I respect that if you show up and talk to me, I respect that about you. But, you know, now you just shown him that to not respect you, you basically told him, don't respect me. I'm not a respectable person. And then on top of that, you don't even realize why he don't want to talk to Sam Seder, because he has zero respect for him.
Enough subscribers.
I don't have enough subscribers to earn the respect to enter the ring. When
Yes.
you enter the ring,
1 million
you
is
must
a lot,
do
but
so.
Yes.
I'd like to know where,
Viewers.
at what point you
It's
are capable of
viewers.
entering.
Even on that stream, when he caught him by surprise in live, Crowder said, when you reach, I'll tell you what, when you reach a third of my audience share, you know, we'll have this
Then
debate.
you can have
A third or 30th, I think, which is
30th,
which
I
is not
think.
even that much.
Yeah.
So, and he said, I will have that debate with you, but right now is me and Ethan. Like, that's what he was going to finish saying, but they kept talking over him. If they had let him finish that there, they could have made a deal and Sam say, oh yeah, okay, I'll make that deal with you. I'll get to that, you know, 30th% of that share. We'll have that conversation. Okay, all right. Now they could just leave it to Ethan, you know, but they didn't want that either.
The ring. And I'll
What's
try
the
to get,
subscriber
yeah,
threshold?
What is
Because the first time
exactly.
He told you what the threshold was, and it wasn't
Views.
subscribers. It was audience share. He told you 30% of my audience share. He said.
The first time he made this argument, I only had, I think, 500,000 subscribers, and then, I feel like the goalposts are like he's dragging them with him as he runs along down the field, and they're just getting further and further.
Yeah, I mean,
Not what's
I'll
happening.
try to get
I mean,
more
he told you
intel
right
on that
there.
for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I
He
appreciate
already
that.
said it.
And maybe
I don't know
folks
if it
can,
still stands because you guys didn't let him
reach out
finish
to him on
making the
Twitter
deal.
and ask him politely. How far are the goalposts?
Where's let's find out so that we can have something to work towards.
Right.
So
exactly.
if you
I
can
mean, it's
ask
too late
Steven,
for you,
how many
Ethan. You look
subs
like
does
shit
Sam
already.
need to be worthy of that?
Now he can
Yeah.
have that conversation because he
big
made that deal,
stage.
but you still look
I'll,
like
I'll
shit.
stick at it just to hit that.
And if
number.
he actually does do that debate
and-
with
we
him
could buy
because he
you
hits that
subs or, you know,
30%
work
of
something
his
out.
share,
True,
then,
we could just buy the subs.
Yeah.
then
That really
Crowder's
occurred
going to
to
look
me,
like
but
the
yeah, I
most,
figured
the
it out.
best
I
out of
should
all.
have done that today. Should have
Yeah.
bought a
I'm really
Ethan's
hold
gonna
on,
look
Steven.
worse than-
Give me a minute.
And Crowder.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We'll see.
I've got to my show.
That's the end of that. But how ridiculous is that, right? Talk about not making any sense. That made no sense at
it's
all. Like
Just silly.
Yeah, totally
so
ridiculous.
Weird. Like these people and what they think are wins.
And in the end, like I said, the only person who comes out looking bad in this is Ethan. Really comes out the most. Comes out looking the most bad. And in fact, Crowder still has time to make himself look better than Ethan. Like right now, I don't think he looks worse than Ethan. But even in anybody's face, Crowder will look better than Ethan by just going and debating Sam Seder later on if Sam Seder meets those requirements. And then it's like, well, Ethan, you just did that for nothing, and you're just sunk to a low level for no reason. Because I would have debated Sam Seder if he just got this on. You know, like if he was just more relevant. Yeah. But oh well. I think we've shared our views on this. I think it's really funny still that people think that people on the left are seeing this as that much of a win. That's really strange.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. It just kind of shows how delusional they are. Or you know what it is? It shows their, maybe it's a bit of uncharitability, but it shows their lack of understanding for people they don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they view them as different kinds of people. They're viewing this as, this looked weak on Crowder, and these people are going to all abandon him because they're going to see he's weak. But it doesn't look weak on him because view it from any neutral viewpoint. I'm not even viewing it on a viewpoint that's charitable to Crowder. I'm looking at it neutrally, and actually, like I said, I was a fan of Ethan's and not a fan of Steven Crowder. I don't like him. I don't like Sam Seder. I don't like either of those two. But Ethan, I liked him. I thought he was funny, and all he keeps doing now, like ever since they started that podcast, what I've noticed is he just keeps sinking himself lower and lower into the dirt and digging himself into these dramas and coming out on the bad end of them, you know.
I was thinking that too.
On the douchey side of him, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that
like
before. When they used to just have their video show and people would go after them, they just kind of laugh and post like people's own videos against them, you know, and let them hang themselves, you know, which is actually like a better way of taking it. But ever since... go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, this, like, stuff like this example and like other ones with the surfs and all that, it's just showing me that the only example, like what I'm learning from all this is that it's okay to be a dick to people if like you feel like they're a shady person for some way, and it's like, and then at the same breath they'll be the ones to say, oh, you should be like setting the example, and this is the example. Like,
this is the example you want to set to
what
sink
it's supposed to be, like
low, like to get somebody. Like I thought the example would be, you know, to be the better person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When somebody brought that up to Ethan and said that he said, I thought Ethan would be a stand-up guy. Ethan says, I don't know who gave him that idea. It's like he's proud of not being a stand-up guy. You know?
Yeah.
He's proud of
This
not
is what you
being a
wanna
good
be,
person. Like what? Like,
yeah, proud of? Like, come on.
I don't know why he thinks I would be a good person. When have I ever given anyone that impression? It's like,
It's like,
isn't
the
Is that
with
supposed to be
peace
cool?
and love?
Yeah.
With peace and love, is that always like the kind
Weird.
of one of the sayings that Ethan says on his stuff whenever he gives like a criticism to?
Yeah.
And it's like genuine criticism to someone, not just like something pulling out of his ass or whatever. But this just seems so dumb. Like,
But it also continues to prove the point that we've been talking about, that the left, or at least these far left people are, and progressives in general, this is why I say progressives are killing the Democrat Party, because progressives in general are very uncharitable to the other side. They just see the other side as being these evil people, and they're not worthy of moral consideration. You know, this is why these guys are applauding and liking this, because Steven Crowder is so evil, so not human to them, so not a moral agent to them, that they're able to treat him any disgusting way they want. And it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? This is how they view this shit. This is why you have, Lance, saying all kinds of disgusting things about people, and saying Sean, is this, and Devin's that, and this and that. Because to them, they're evil people. They don't agree with me on things, so they're evil, and they have no redeeming quality. This is why you can't have debates with some of these people. This is why Sean has a debate where I talked earlier, where Sean is using the point to prove crime statistics he's using to prove that violence isn't inherent in black people, and what is Surf see it as? He sees it as the exact opposite of what Sean's saying. He's like, is this guy really 1350ing me right now? And it's like, that's not what he was doing. He was talking about, 1350. And it's like, no, he's comparing New York stats to Chicago stats to show you that they don't correlate. That if it was inherent, you'd expect to see matching numbers, expect to see like consistent numbers in cities, but you don't. Chicago has like a fifth of the black people that New York City does and has way more crime, so it's actually not a thing of inherent to it. It has to be a cultural thing, right? There's a difference here.
Seems like he tries to do that thing. Oh, sorry.
No,
cutting you off again. Like just some like with things that Lance and them say, like you can tell it's predictable. You can tell where they're going. It's something that they've heard before somewhere else, and they're like passing it off as their own like thought out like thing to say. But like it seems like he tries to do that for Sean and stuff, as if Sean's like saying some like common talking point when that's not what it was at all.
No,
because he's not even listening, so he doesn't even like pay attention really to what Sean's point is.
No, not at all. That's the point of like, or like I keep talking that we're gonna go through it, but maybe we will soon, maybe tomorrow even, or at least start it. But I want to go over that argument, that debate that Sean had with Lance, because I think it is a great example of that, and we could show. Like, I really want to go into it in detail and stop it in certain parts to be like, look, here's another uncharitable thing where he's making shit up and getting Sean wrong on purpose because of uncharitability, And it's a bit of an excitement thing too. Like, they want to catch you in something, and they want that because this is the culture, right? Is to catch people. I'm gonna dunk out. I'm gonna expose him. Blah blah. Mask off. Yeah. That's what he says. Now I've seen Surfs tell people, "Oh, I don't think he ever did have a mask." I remember he kept trying to catch him. Mask off. Oh, I caught you. Got your mask off. And now when people make comments about that, it's like, oh, he's taking his mask off. Surfs will go, I don't think he ever had a mask. Like, like trying to say like he's always been proud of being a racist, and it's like, it's not racist, Lance. It's you saying this because you're so uncharitable that you won't even listen to his arguments, and you just straw man him the whole time and call him names because you suck at this. You know what I'm saying? Lance is not good. What I promise anybody, like, what if you can find me a debate that Lance of the Surfs was in that you think he did a good job, send it over. I want to watch that because I don't believe it. I've seen him on a couple of debates, and every time I see him, he is completely horrific in it. Like, he's so bad in it. Every time he strawmans people. We saw that one with him and JF. And I believe JF is an absolute lunatic, And I'm like, and he couldn't even look good debating against him. And you can kind of see it in his face the whole time. Like, he knew the whole time he was going to come off bad. Like, the dude did not crack a smile at all the whole time. He looked kind of sad almost, like the whole debate. Like,
he gets this expression on his face, just like,
and he just wanted to basically straw man him and say, you're a racist, eugenics, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And and even argued with him about genetics, which is what he's an expert on, right? Then he tried to dunk on him, like he taught a monkey how to play video games. Dude, that's a feat.
Thought that was
that's an amazing feat. That's not a
terrifying
thing. Yeah, that's not a thing to make fun of. That's an amazing feat. That wasn't a dunk. And like, that's kind of what happened. Is he said it, and then the host James goes, wait, you taught a monkey how to play video games? He's like, wow. And he was amazed by it. Like, that's amazing. Right after Lance says it, as if it's some sort of dunk on him or something. And like, wow. And then Lance had to eat it and be like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? Like he had to eat that and be like, all right, yeah, I guess everybody thinks it's a pretty cool feat. I guess I can't really make fun of that. I have to take it back, But it is a thing, and we're gonna get into that. I think it's an interesting thing to look at, how these guys, a lot of these debate me bro guys, are really just like, they don't really debate, and they're not really in it for the sake of getting to the truth, like Sam Cedar was just saying. They're in it just to dunk on the other side, to look good, and basically, and try to expose you as the racist that you are, even when you're not, And I think Sean is good at that, because Sean keeps his cool, and Sean's very good at not turning the debate. This is the problem, is that they are used to debating with people that when they start going for underhanded tactics, the other side starts getting angry, and they get excited, and then
Yeah.
it turns into a yelling match and insulting, and then they win that. You know what I'm saying? That looks good on them. But Sean doesn't do that. This is why Sean always comes. This is why they can't catch Sean, because Sean's a very chill dude. And he can relax there and give you reasonable arguments the whole time. And the only way they can win is to twist what he's saying, you know, and take what he's saying wrong. This is where we get Lance every time he talks about Sean. What does he say? 1350, condom theory, you know, and it's like, what, you're the one who pushed them into saying that, dude. And he gave you multiple things. Why are you saying condom theory? And on top of that, he totally dunked on him with the stats on condom theory and won't accept the dunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't take that L. And he can't. He just has to keep saying, this is my stats. And it's like, yeah, we saw your stats. Sean's stats are more recent and is asking women and not men. So there's a disparity there, right? Like, how are you not seeing this? Like, you're saying women tend to lie when it comes to condom use? Is that what you're saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what is your excuse here, Lance? Like, well, we'll get to that. But either way, this was fun. I enjoyed watching this and talking about this. And I don't know what more is going to come to this, but I bet you any money, I would make a bet that Steven Crowder is not going to lose his audience over this, and that his career's not over, and that there's going to be a very few people who are going to view Crowder as looking bad in this, who's not on the right anyway, right? Like everybody's going to see this as being bad on Crowder, or people who hated him in the first place, right? So he's not losing anything.
Yeah, I hope the drama thing goes well for Ethan, because I don't know.
Yeah, if anybody's going to get hurt from this, I see Ethan getting hurt from this. He might not. He's that big too, so I mean, it might not even matter. But the only person I could possibly see being hurt by this is Ethan, because he's the only one who looks like a jerk in this whole thing.
But maybe he learned some things from Trisha about how to profit off the drama stuff, so he'll do well. You never know.
All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. That's